Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine this afternoon, but don't let it fool you. It's cold out there. 39 for the high. Tonight, clear and cold, 24. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Windy and warmer in the afternoon, but it's still cold. 45. The wind will make it feel colder. A dry, windy cold front Tuesday night. And Wednesday, windy and bitterly cold, only 32. Little snow possible Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Cox here. We're taking the show live to the Missouri State Capitol this Wednesday, January 5th. We're going to speak with the governor, with House members and senators as they kick off the 2022 Missouri legislative session. Redistricting will be a big issue this year. Will legislators eliminate a Democratic district? Plus, bills to repeal the gas tax and ban mask mandates have already been filed. Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show live in Jeff City, January 5th, 5 to 9 a.m.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? I never miss one of your dinner parties. How's the new job?
We're growing fast. And I stopped working weekends, thanks to how much smoother everything runs on NetSuite by Oracle.
Fantastic. We're still using QuickBooks.
Why haven't you upgraded to NetSuite?
We're making QuickBooks work, sort of.
Shh, watch your language. The kids are right there. Sorry, Amy. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. And 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since upgrading from QuickBooks to NetSuite.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for me to switch to NetSuite. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/select. Head to netsuite.com/select for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/select.
A message for homeowners. Are you thinking of selling your fixer-upper home? Did you get a bid from the home improvement company yet? Wow, material and labor shortages mean lengthy wait times and exorbitant cost. Why bother when I'm paying top dollar right now for homes in any condition? Hi, this is Mike Robinson. I can make you a cash offer with no contingencies for your home or condo. Just call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867, or visit us at robangproperties.com.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, I mean, look, I think if I had $1 for every lockdown politician who decided to escape to Florida over the last 2 years, I'd be a pretty doggone wealthy man, let me tell you.
So Governor Ron DeSantis there to open the new year right. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy 2022. We've been talking about 2022 for some time now, basically pining for 2022 because in November we have a semblance of hope to provide us some relief from the despair of what we've had to endure politically for the last 11 months. President Biden almost having served now for a full year. And what does he have to show for it? Well, we're going to talk to Stephen Moore, who is the senior economic contributor at Freedomworks at 110 to say, so tell us how the economy is going. If you've been listening to our show for any amount of time, you have an idea of how he's going to approach that. But I want to know from him, and this is we'll maybe talk a little New Year's resolutions throughout the course of the day. I'm not like a huge resolution maker, but I think if you can assess and improve, I'm for that all the time. One of my resolutions or assertions is to continue to be positive thinking and to take the situations that are in front of us, because let's be honest, if you listen to news and politics all day, it can get a bit daunting. It's a bit heavy at times to take in, and I don't want noon to 3 with you to be like that. Let's acknowledge what's going on in the world and let's figure out how we can make a difference to make it better and how we can learn to talk to one another even more and spread some sort of positivity. So we're going to do that with Stephen Moore. I'm going to steer him in the direction of saying, what do we need to do, Stephen, to get this on track? If we have a red tsunami of a wave in November, guess what? President Biden still has to sign any bills in order to make them laws. And there's not a mathematical possibility to get a veto-proof majority in the Senate. So what are we going to have to do? I would say, looking back on the last year, that making it so that there isn't a Congress that's willing to pass some of the things, some of the spending bills, some of the spending measures that this Congress so far has passed, that would be progress. So bringing everything to a screeching halt, that might be good. And we will look at the bright side with that. Brad is in studio with me. How is your new year going, Brad?
My new year's going great, except my legs hurt really bad.
Resolution?
Oh, yes. So my resolution...
Leg
day. No, it was a full body workout, but my resolution is to lose 22 pounds in 2022.
Fantastic.
So I started that off on January 1st with a new program.
How often do you weigh yourself?
I don't. If I get onto a program...
Are you just going to declare victory when you feel good?
No, I have a pretty good idea of what I weigh right now. But when I get on it, I weigh myself about once a week, and I try to weigh myself at the same time on the same day.
I don't know how it is for dudes. I'm sure it's easier. Ladies, you feel me. But if you do weigh yourself every day and you're trying to lose weight, your body might be retaining water and waiting to release it. And then you feel discouraged because you've been busting your butt and you're not seeing the results on the scale. And if that discouragement causes you to go wayward, that's no bueno. So
yeah, so I would recommend not weighing yourself every day. I will vary as much as 5 to 7 pounds in a day.
That time of the month, that's our problem. We have that excuse, and it's like, yeah, it is what it is. So that's a good resolution. I am set out to get to my pre-COVID weight. I've achieved, as I had talked to you in 2021, I achieved getting to my pre-baby weight. But let's all be honest. We all have a COVID food baby, and we're all trying to steer it back into track.
I think I have COVID triplets.
Yeah, well, it's a celebration times 3. It's fine. I think it's going to be a great year. I am really pumped for 2022, and I will specifically tell you, I'm really pumped for the year for me, for the things that are ahead of for me. I'm excited about what lies ahead, and that involves you. And I am so very glad that you choose to spend some of your time. Maybe it's your 15 minutes on your lunch hour. Maybe right now. What was the Arby's drive-thru story? Oh, the Biden clip.
Yes.
Can we get that?
I will see if I can find it.
See if Hannah, who is on the job today, I'm so excited. We've got associate producer Hannah here today. She made her debut, I don't know, mid-December. we're going to do Signs of the Apocalypse. She's taking over that segment for us, Signs of the Apocalypse, and some other things throughout the week. You are going to love Hannah if you haven't met her already. She's a part of the show, and I am excited to bring her into our family. Like I said, you're going to love her. Duh, she's wonderful. So we've got a lot of optimism, a lot of positive things to look forward to. And that all includes you and your choice to be here with us. I am grateful for that opportunity to talk to you every day. And I hope that you find a place here from noon to 3 with us here on 97.1 throughout the entire day, obviously on 97.1, but specifically on noon to 3. And if you haven't yet, join us on our live stream. You can watch us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe. We topped over 2,500 subscribers right before we went to Christmas break. I was super grateful for that. Hopefully we can get to 3,000 here. Maybe we can get to 3,000 by the end of January. That would be kind of cool. So let's make that a target. You'll get your subscribe sticker thing out and show it to the camera, Brad.
Oh, you want me to do that right now? I'll do it right now.
Yeah, that would be more effective than me saying you should subscribe. He has crafts. Did you make these?
Yeah.
You did?
I had some help.
That's all right. They look fantastic.
See.
We're on the it's a high quality duct tape on the back of that. We're on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We're on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, and also very excited to be on Rumble. And we are going live right now on Getter, which Getter had a banner weekend, I should say, this past weekend. So if you haven't gotten to Getter yet, at Annie Frey Show, they were basically at Annie Frey Show everywhere. And we were going to talk to Jason Miller of Getter. We were supposed to talk to him today, but he's actually going to be on tomorrow. And he's got a lot of interviews lined up, but he said he wanted to squeeze us into his week, and he put us in Tuesday. So we're excited to speak to him. Joe Rogan interviewed Dr. Malone.
Something like that.
Yeah. I'm not going to play it here because it's everywhere. You can go find it in whole. And honestly, I think that those are things that you should listen to in their entirety. But Joe Rogan has a massive podcast. I think it might be the most listened to podcast that exists.
I think that is correct.
The Joe Rogan Experience, I believe, is what it's called. And he interviewed the guy who created mRNA vaccines, not specifically the vaccine that's out there right now. Basically, long story short, this isn't a story about vaccines, yay or nay. This is a story about social media saying, nope, you can't listen to that, and taking it down and saying this is not allowed to be discussed, which is, I'm going to be honest, pretty frightening. And not the first time we've heard it and or seen it happen. And Joe Rogan said this weekend, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go be on Getter. And then a bunch of people went to be on Getter.
Yeah, I tried to ride that way. I'm on Getter as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so like whenever that
you're on Getter right now,
I'm
live
right
streaming.
now.
I see your face on Getter.
Yeah, those lucky guys
and gals.
But yeah, I tried to ride that wave. I'm on Getter as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at the Brad Range, I think, with underscores in there.
I think it's important to establish yourself on these platforms, and maybe you determine where you're going to focus your energy as you move through this craziness that exists. We at the Annie Frey Show have to disperse ourselves because I don't know what's going to come. You know, we currently have a strike on our YouTube channel. It will expire in February, and then I assume we'll probably get another one. Hopefully they wait to give us the second one until our first one expires. And I'm not really like the shock jock in the conservative talk lane. I mean, I have thoughts and opinions, and I listen to a lot of people who have varying opinions on key issues. And I do get people who reach out to the show and say, you know, Annie, you need to go harder on this, and you need to call these people out, and it could be about anything. But if you've listened to the show long enough, the thing that you need to understand about my purpose here is that I'm facilitating conversation with people, and I don't want to talk to just people who think like me. I don't want to be the place where people go to hear an echo chamber of what is appropriate, you know, as far as who you're allowed to believe and who you're allowed to listen to. Marjorie Taylor Greene kicked off Twitter.
Gone.
I'm not really an MTG super fan. I see what she's doing. She is, to me, kind of the AOC of the right, as in she's brash, she's attention getting. But for some reason, AOC is elevated like crazy on the left, and MTG is banned from being part of the conversation. Banned. And if you've been paying attention to social media this weekend, I don't know if this is, this is a little meta right now because I don't know. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? Do I not do it? I guess I do it now that I'm talking about it, right? Yes. We have to stop talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I don't know if me talking about not talking about her is really me talking about not talking about her, talking about her. When will then be now? Soon. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We don't need to elevate AOC. We don't need to do that. She has the platform she has because she makes conservatives pull their hair out of their skulls. Stop paying attention to her. Just stop. She doesn't deserve your attention. We should beat her at the ballot box in our districts here. Every single Republican that gets elected has an equal counter vote to hers when it comes to legislation. Stop giving the attention what she wants. Self-censorship.
You know what, too, and you'll know you'll win. You're winning that battle whenever you start seeing her on the mainstream news channels. Because have you noticed they don't put her on all that often? She seems to me like more of a person that they use to stir up their base, to get their base fired up.
Both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Both. Oh my gosh. So she's in Florida. She's in Miami. She's soaking up the freedom, which is what people do when they go to Florida. And she's eating outside at a restaurant with her boyfriend.
I think that's what she said.
From what I understand. It's a white guy. Does that matter? I don't know. It shouldn't. But he's sitting out there. He has sandals on. It's Florida. I think Steve Cortez was the original person who has been a guest on the show. Steve Cortez, I enjoy him. And he's got a different tactic to things than I do, certainly, which is fine. It's fine. But he called her hypocrisy out for leaving locked down New York for freedom-loving Miami and being outside in a crowded place without a mask on, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, she can't do congressperson work in person.
Her voting and everything has been virtual, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So
she can go there, but she can't do the work of the people she represents in person. Okay, fine. I think it's a fair observation. I think that the way that she conducts her business and is constantly out there in front of everybody for you cannot avoid knowing what she thinks about something. I don't care what she thinks about it. I already know what she thinks about most things, and I don't care. You don't have to care. What she says doesn't matter. So she's out there, someone takes a picture and puts it out there, and she decides to defend this criticism, this tweet that was put out there, by saying that people criticizing her they're just Republicans airing out their sexual frustrations when they criticize her, and accuse everybody who is looking at her going, what are you doing, of wanting to date her. Exhibit A of why we shouldn't care what she says. Like, I'm not mad at her. She just knows how to throw the lure right into the water. She hooks a big fish every time. People go crazy. We have to stop taking her seriously. Like I said on Twitter, she's Regina George. On Wednesdays, they wear commie pink. And we got to stop paying attention to it. It doesn't make any sense. So much yelling for New Year.
Commie pink.
I had to Google that to make sure it wasn't derogatory. And I did at least 15 minutes of research on the word pink is associated with communism and the word pinko. And I came up with nothing that said that, no, Annie, don't say this. And my general rule is if I have any hesitation is to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. But I looked it up, and I even asked people who are very history sourced. Like, I don't know. I don't think I haven't heard it used. I'm like, but I got a really good reference for it. The term, I didn't know this until I did my research. Commie pink is because commie pink is like the idea of modern, not probably modern day liberalism, like normal liberalism, because it's communism is usually associated with red.
Mm-hmm.
So commie pink is like communism light.
Yeah.
which is liberalism. But I contest that today, conservatives are actually the classic liberals.
Yes.
We're the ones who are like, you do whatever you want to do. I don't want to be involved in your business. That's got to be the message for 2022. Well, let's take a break because it is 12:22. You are listening to the Annie Frey Show, and I want to know what your New Year's resolution is. You got one? Do you think they're crap? Or do you have a good New Year's resolution you want to share? Let us know on the live chat on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. And also, if you want to stream us anywhere you go, pick up that Odyssey app on your phone and take us along with you. We'd love to go along for the ride. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Mark Cox Morning Show will be live from Jefferson City this Wednesday for the start of the 2022 Missouri legislative session. We'll speak to the governor and key legislators to get the lowdown on the year ahead. That's Wednesday, 5 to 9 a.m. live from the Missouri State Capitol.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Planning to get engaged this year? Come to Shane Company, where shopping for an engagement ring is like nowhere else. Our jewelry consultants don't work on commission. They'll take the time to listen and give you personal attention. They'll help you maximize your budget and show you all the possibilities for the ring. Because we have more rings than anyone else, it'll be easy to find a unique engagement ring no matter your price range. Choose from a variety of styles, classic, modern, or elaborate and detailed, all designed by our in-house team. Then, for the center stone, we have the state's largest selection of diamonds, rubies, and over a dozen colors of sapphires, as well as peach morganite and aquamarine. All of our stones are conflict-free and natural. We'll make finding the perfect engagement ring fun and easy. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Small business owners sometimes go broke. My first business startup in the 80s was a fledgling startup story. Credit cards were maxed, car had bald tires, house had broken windows, and my employees got paid before I did. But my diet of hot dogs and mac and cheese was to die for. Hi, I'm Mike Capel, founder and CEO of Patriot Software. My business startup was messy. Actually, I was broke. My wife and I lived on fumes for 4 years. To escape our financial reality, we played board games and dreamt of someday owning our own boardwalk and park place. That's why I created my 5th successful company, Patriot Software, to help small business owners do their payroll without going broke. And if you need help, we will help you for free. Go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code RADIO, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stop the run. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Now, I don't know why this is a thing with the show. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why I started saying it. I have no explanation. But for some reason, I always would talk to you, the listener, and say, whether you're sitting at your desk right now or you're listening from your home kitchen table or you're in the Arby's drive-thru. I don't know why the Arby's drive-thru, except for the fact that Arby's is delicious. But this is a guy. Do you have the guy's name?
I think he calls himself Captain 45.
He's really good. He went up to this Arby's drive-thru and he places an order. But as Brad mentioned, 45. This is not Donald Trump, but an impersonator in the Arby's drive-thru.
Yes, I was told you have the meats. Okay, so what we're looking for is a brisket, bacon, and beef dip, big, beautiful sandwich.
Okay, just the sandwich?
No, the combination, as a matter of fact. They call it a combo. You want that with a Dr. Pepper.
Okay, small, medium, or large for the fries and the drink.
We're talking about large. I call it huge. It sounds a lot better, yes. And a Dr. Pepper. We like Dr. Pepper more than Dr. Fauci.
Okay, just the one meal with a large Dr. Pepper and a large fry, $16.19.
And I'm sorry, we'd like a side of horsey sauce.
No, we're actually out of horsey sauce until further notice.
What a shame. Bear Shell's Biden. Okay, well, no problem. We'll see you at the window.
What a shame.
Thank you.
Bear Shells Biden. He just throws that in there. That is so funny. He is good.
He's really good. He actually has a website where you can do requests and stuff like that. So,
Man, maybe we should request some stuff.
I'm saying. I think that would be awesome.
And get an intro for Wiggins America.
Oh my gosh.
That I write. Some people on our live chat, and I respect their disagreement, not really down with me saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is the AOC of the right.
Why?
I don't know. People like her.
Yeah. I mean, she's MTG is just as popular with her base as AOC is with hers. MTG drives her opponents up the wall just like AOC drives hers. I mean, they're kind of...
I feel like the left talks about Marjorie Taylor Greene more than the right does. And I feel like the right talks about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez more than the left does. So it's kind of a... I mean, has AOC passed anything? In the entire time that she's been there, has she accomplished anything? Massive influence on the public conversation.
Right.
But has she done anything?
No.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has been stripped of all of her committee assignments. She's been banned from Twitter. That's just this weekend. So, it is what it is. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to read throughout the course of the show today some New Year's resolutions that you comment on the live show. You said your goal was to lose 22 pounds?
22 and 22.
22. Do you have in your mind when you want to achieve that by?
As soon as possible. I was telling my wife, I think if I stay after it, if I stay on the diet and, make sure I'm regular in the gym, that I could probably lose that within about 3-4 months.
Yeah. I think it's a good time frame because you could, I guess, lose it too fast. Vicky says, I don't have a resolution, but I've decided to get my ducks in a row so I can retire in a year. That's a good resolution. I mean, that can be.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the fear of the unknown, like you're afraid that you're going to look into it and find out that you can't retire for 5 years. So you just shield your eyes. It's kind of like weight too. You need to lose weight, but you're afraid to step on the scale to see what the actual number is. So you just avoid doing it. But your weight is your weight. Doesn't matter whether you step on the scale or not to see it. So yeah, keep sending us in your New Year's resolutions. Mike says his New Year's resolution is to stay away from Chicago. We've got Jim Durkin on the show at 1:25. He is the House Minority Leader in the General Assembly for the state of Illinois, and he's going to be on with us at 1:25. And he's been on a show previously talking to us about how his expectation for 2022, and he's told me this personally when I've been with him in person this past summer. He wants to become the majority leader. Can you imagine what would happen in the state of Illinois if Republicans were able to kill that majority of Democrats? It's a super majority, folks. That is a lofty, lofty goal. But is it doable? It is possible. And with every single step we take towards removing in the state of Illinois that majority of Democrats, that super majority of Democrats, we get a little bit closer to some sanity. And as many of you do know, whether you're in the state of Illinois or not, Illinois elects its governor, its main state offices in midterm years. So J.B. Pritzker is up for re-election, and God willing, the man will be replaced this November. He never came on our show. We'll have to ask Trisha for an update later if they ever responded, but we asked many times in a very nice, kind way, with honestly some concessions that we shouldn't have to do to talk to him in the wake of the tornado that hit literally my parents' farm, and I was there when it happened. And the Amazon building is just a mile and a half or so due west of where my parents' farm is. Thought it would be a good reason for him to come on the show. We would just talk about that and ask him what the state is going to do for these people. And he just didn't do it. That's frustrating to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we've disagreed with him on a lot of policy, but we're polite. I mean, we don't call him names. We don't make fun of his weight or anything like that. We just disagree with his policies.
I don't stand for that either. Like, I don't facilitate that conversation. And if it happens under my guard on social media, on my platforms, I remove that stuff because I don't think it's productive. I don't think it's nice. And people say, you don't need to be nice to him. Well, I believe in being respectful to other humans because I demand that same respect from other people. And I don't want to be treated that way. Illinois, the Biden administration and the direction that it has been heading, and the approval numbers, if you're following polls and all that stuff, they're atrocious. If Illinois is going to get their act together, it's going to happen in 2022. Illinois you could go issue by issue by issue by issue and say, why is this way? Why is that this way? You could talk about the economy. You could talk about taxes. You could talk about public education and how, we've been grossly overlorded throughout the entire course of COVID in a way that others, I think, Illinoisans, you need to understand this is not the way the rest of the country is living. California is taking its notes from us. Wow. That's bad. Right across the river here in the state of Missouri. They're not handling COVID the way Illinois is handling it from the top down. Pritzker doesn't give anybody the choice of what to do. He has worked to remove the accreditation of privately run schools who don't follow his administration's guidelines, to remove their accreditation. There's a few schools across the state who've said, screw it, we're going to go get accredited elsewhere. And they're going to lose the accreditation that Pritzker is threatening them with. But show me what we're doing in the state of Illinois. I mean, we have 50 test kitchens in the United States of America about different ways that you can handle this virus. Massive lockdowns, incredible regulations and restrictions, and other places who have never locked down a single thing. And there's no evidence that suggests that the tyrannical overlording of these people in these deep blue states is actually mitigating the virus in a way that is truly impactful. Businesses are crumbling. People can't stay in work or are encouraged not to work. Infrastructure is becoming a problem. And, the Edwardsville School District sent out an email last night that said that they were going remote learning 6 through 12. They go back to school tomorrow. What? I have yet to determine if that's, in an effort to slow the spread, so to speak, or if it's because of a lack of substitute teachers. Because if teachers can continue to teach, maybe they have to be quarantined or whatever because maybe they had a contact or something over the course of the holiday break. If they're not sick and they feel fine and they can remote educate from home while they're quarantining, that's a different scenario than saying we're keeping our kids out of school because we want to slow the spread. If they're doing it because, just like everywhere else, there's a staffing shortage and they're doing what they can to make it work, that's a different case. And I'm interested in knowing the truth behind that before I get too bent out of shape. But 48 hours notice that your sixth grader is going to have to be at home. In the state of Illinois, you're not legally allowed to be home alone until you're 14 years old. What in the world are you going to do until if you got to be like halfway through 8th grade in order to be 14? 6th, 7th, and half of 8th graders are not legally allowed to be at home. Also, government overlording there as well. But there's so much absence of common sense. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later in the show too. But I was talking with my husband about this, and we have had over the course of our last, it's 2022, so I guess I would say 5 years, some incredibly foundationally shaking events take place in our life. We've lost some people. You know, my grandma passed away in September. I was very close to her. We've left some places that we had been connected to for my entire life, decades together. We've had situations in our lives that have complicated, other relationships that we have. And we were just talking about how COVID, on top of all of this, I really do believe that COVID is causing us a great sadness that we don't understand that we're suffering. We are still in fight or flight response time. We have not been able to, how like when you're in a car and you almost get into an accident and your whole body tenses up, but it takes about maybe 30 seconds of removing yourself from that situation for your body to relax and go, oh, that was almost really, really bad. We're still tense. We haven't had the moment to relax ourselves after this pandemic has changed every single facet of our lives. Everything is different. Everywhere you go has been impacted by this, and in most cases will forever be impacted by it. And while we were talking about it last night, we're sad. And it's hard to look back on the last couple years. Life happens. Things are happening in your life right now that add stress to your life. Throw in a global pandemic and all of the cracks and the nooks and the crannies, and all of a sudden you realize that you've been in that tense moment right after the accident almost happens and your whole body just tenses up. All of a sudden you realize you haven't lowered your shoulders. You haven't exhaled in 2 years. There are parts of us that are very sad. Yes, we've been frustrated. Yes, we've been angry. Yes, many of us have been sick. Yes, many of us have toiled back and forth between, do I get a vaccine? Do I not get a vaccine? Do I get a booster? Do I not get a booster? Do I get my kids? Yes, no. What do I do? We've all stressed about that. We've all made our own decisions. We've all, known people who've gotten COVID. Many of us have had COVID, various strains of it. We've all gone through this for the last 2 years, and we've had an array of emotions. But I think that the one that we're not paying attention to is sadness. And I really think that if you acknowledge that feeling of sadness, you have an opportunity to make somebody's day. You have an opportunity to go out of your way to provide some sort of antidote to that sadness that somebody else is experiencing. And that ends up coming back around to you. We're so uptight. It's an election year, folks. It's 2022. It's about to get real. This station is going to be all over the news as it happens, the developments, the candidates, the endorsements, and Ryan will come in here and do polls, and I'm sure other shows, most all other shows will do polls. I just can't stand them. There's so much information to consume, and there's only so much room you have in your head. And when we have so much pressure on us, you need to know that it's okay to exhale. It's okay and encouraged to assess your situation. You make all these decisions for yourself on a daily basis about what's best for you. You know what's best for you. Find your confidence back in that and start living your life. And if that means you get to be quadruple boosted, vaccinated with 32 masks on your face, and that's living your best life, I commend you. Mask away. But if it doesn't, you still go be you. And let's get back to the place where we can start working on seeing some of the bright spots and acknowledging those sad spots so that we can try to push them out. Stick around. Wiggins America, the first of 2022. When we come back, don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
That alarm goes off really early after a little bit of time off.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay,
But
it's
happy to
easy to get used to sleeping past 3 a.m. Oddly enough, isn't it? It really is.
Takes no time at all.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Hi, this is Curtis Barks. I am the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair, here to tell you about our touchless automotive service. If you're experiencing the constant struggles of having the kids home from school or just want more of that family time where you can listen to them teach you about what they do every day, we provide touchless automotive service, return the vehicle to you clean and ready to go in the comfort of your own home. Check us out online at CompleteAB.com for more information. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the cars.
Let's start off a new year with a new coat of paint. This is Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and let's make 2022 the year you transform your home or business with some new colors and expert professional painting. CertaPro can make it happen, and the quality of the work will blow you away. One of my favorite parts of hiring CertaPro is I don't have to do the painting myself. These are professional painters. They can help you bring your vision of color to life. Get started today with a free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visits your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
Home values have skyrocketed.
And Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low 1.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With our low rates and your increased equity, you can make home improvements or pay off debt.
Woo-hoo! Plus, skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, join my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 52 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute traffic like nobody else. Sue Thomas and dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Shine a little light on the part of me that won't stop thinking of you. Better look over my shoulder. Gotta stop checking my phone. There's a presence in the bar tonight telling me I'm not alone. Sure hate being alone. Speaking of the devil, here you come.
The indications are clear that overall media is facing an increasingly tough environment, and for those who who are being seen as critical or troublemakers, they are more vulnerable.
So there's some reaction and I don't know. Let's just let Ryan do it. Let's do Wiggins America. He's here right now.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey,
Right.
is the Wiggins America calendar the same as America's
Oh,
calendar?
you mean like the
Chinese
my
New Year?
nation versus
Yeah.
your nation?
Yeah.
It's roughly the same. Yeah. I would say like fiscal year, January 1st through December 31st. So that's roughly the same as an actual year, right?
Fiscal year.
Yeah. For Wiggins America. I mean, that's how we budget is
Does
January
Wiggins
1st.
wait a second. Does Wiggins America have a budget? Because I've got some people to call if that's the case.
You mean from the station? No. Just
Yeah,
talking
no
about my
kidding.
personal budget.
I was going to
within
say,
my own
because
personal
the Andy
world.
Fry Show budget is also very personal to me,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that clip there, Hong
Yeah.
Kong news continues to come out from China, and by that I mean it doesn't.
Yeah, and that is the news, is that this is how it happens. I mean, we're watching you're watching this phase by phase happen in ways that you knew it was coming, but the headline is largest remaining independent Hong Kong news outlet has decided to close, and that is in the midst of many others doing the same in Hong Kong. This one's called the Citizen News over the weekend. They say that they can't report honestly anymore because they would be shut down.
Yeah.
They're having trouble getting journalists.
What
to
you
even
just
write
said there
for
is
them.
happening in the United States of America.
That's one of the reasons that I bring it up, because over the weekend,
Try not to get us kicked off of YouTube.
I'll try. Well, will I? I don't know. It's amazing to watch. Now, we're not to this extent. We're not having the police come in because Citizen News shut down on its own. But it's in light of another one called Stand News in Hong Kong. Police officers, over 200 police officers just walked into the building and started arresting random journalists based on things they had written. No real standards. And this is where it starts to cross into what we're talking about. Well, what's the standard for getting removed, or in this case, arrested? There isn't really one. In their words, the only news release the police said, well, you've stirred up hatred or contempt for the government. Oh, okay. So if that's the standard, it really can be anything. So we're watching this happen in Hong Kong. We're watching it happen in a different way in the United States, but it's weird in the United States because it's like corporate collusion with the government narrative. I don't know which one's driving it, the government or the corporation. I really don't.
Hand in hand.
They
This is
are.
a little bit of both.
My question for you, though, is, big question wise, which one would you rather see? Would you rather see an independent news outlet like Citizen News, which I'm not familiar with? I don't speak Mandarin, so I don't read Citizen News. But would you rather see something like that just say, no, we can't honestly report and shut down? Or would you rather see them try to still
Stakes
toe
are
the
high in
line?
China. The stakes are
Yeah.
high when people report. I mean, the tennis player, she recanted everything she said about her experience of being sexually
assaulted, raped.
She comes out and she's like, never mind, I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She went missing. So, it's easy for us to sit here in the United States of America and be like, oh, YouTube put a strike on us because we said something about a virus. Or, to be worried about that and say they should fight back and they should do this, that, and the other thing. It's next level stuff in China, which is the reason why we need to make sure that we stop it here right now in its tracks. Freedom of speech, more information. The American people are the supreme being in this country, and we get to decide. Guess what? We legally get to be really stupid. It's just the way it works in the United States. And many people across the country might poke fun at that because our gun laws and stuff is totally different than anywhere else in the world. And one thing that I always, if I read an article and it has to do with like things that the United States does that are weird to foreigners or whatever. And one of them is the way we advertise medications. Seems bizarre. I could kind of see that. I think it's stupid. It's like, this medicine will heal you, but it might kill you in all these other ways. Got it. Okay, thanks. I just think that we need to be this year specifically, and I really, really, really hope the Republicans don't screw this up. There are a lot of things that conservatives can advocate for. There are a lot of things that Republicans can run on and try to get done. You are going to get your red wave in a Biden administration, maybe a Harris administration or whatever the future holds. It's not going to be a Republican administration. So you are going to have to put forth your best effort to win in a massive way just to stop the wheels from turning. But the message has to be freedom. And the message has to be about upholding our rights as individual people over a government that is pleading its case with you that they know best for you and that all you have to do is let them make those decisions for them because you're not going to get it back if you don't. I mean, look at China. They spoon feed information to the people. It's propaganda. And I think you see that here in the States as well.
They do. Yeah, they said journalists have been put on notice and warned about crossing a quote unquote red line. Again, no idea what that means. The journalists themselves don't even know what that means, just like we don't. When you post something on Twitter, you know you're kind of in the zone where you're bothering people, but you never really know what's going to get you banned.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad to see people doing other things like Getter. I don't know what's going to happen. Does that become the next thing? Does it not? I have no idea.
You know, can I make my on-air prediction for Getter?
Please.
Getter is been put together by Jason Miller, who was one of the closest advisors to Donald Trump. They were begging him to join that platform. And he didn't. And it seemed very amicable in, like the conversations about it. The outward, we really want him to come here. We really want him to be on this platform. And then it didn't happen. And then the Trump media company announced. I think Jason Miller is developing Getter into something real where there is a platform of people, where it is a worked out, thought out product so that Trump's media company can buy it.
I've thought the same thing. I'm glad to hear you say that.
And that Trump would then be on that product. It would be his product. And I don't think that it's possible for a new startup to have Trump on it and to be successful in the way that it needs to be successful. It would be defined by Trump. And I think that I don't have intel on this. This is just, I am a person who likes to put pieces together. And sometimes I get the picture a little bit ahead of time. And sometimes I don't. But it makes sense to me that a media company of Trump's choosing would make sense for them to acquire something that is ready to go.
I could see that happening because I thought the same thing. I do believe, though, that Trump will launch something that won't be Getter and then see how big it gets on its own and then either buy or merge the two. Because this weekend has been huge. I think the reports were unofficially something like 150,000 people joined Getter. I've seen numbers all over the board. I don't know that that's official, but a lot of people joined Getter this weekend. One of them was Joe Rogan.
Yes, that's why everybody
and
went
that's
there.
why, and the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff, which I heard you mention in the last segment, that all that stuff coming together at the same time is causing people to go, this isn't good anymore.
I said Marjorie Taylor Greene is the AOC of the right. Agree, disagree?
Had this conversation with my wife last night, oddly.
Who do I agree with?
You agree with her.
Oh, yeah?
I disagree. I think that she is about 10% of the stuff she says is stuff that I'm like, nah, I don't really agree. But 90% of it I do. With AOC, even if I were that far left, I think about 50% of it I would agree with.
That's not, maybe I should clarify why I think she is. Like Brad and I were talking about before. Marjorie Taylor Greene's value to the conversation. And I say the conversation as in like the big media conversation, not like the conversations we should be having in any capacity.
Her ability to grab attention.
She is just a lightning bolt for the left. If she gives a look to somebody when she's in the Capitol building, it's going to be a news story on some Slate or Salon or something like that. AOC is the same way on, Freedom, Eagle, Harder, Go, Red, White, and Blue
net
USA team. I mean, what they are there. They have equal value in Congress. They get a vote. And the people who are in their district said, we choose you. So there are people who choose Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There are people who choose Marjorie Taylor Greene. No constituent of Marjorie Taylor Greene is any less or more valuable than any constituent of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And those constituents are more important than both of those women. Because again, it's about the American people. But nothing that AOC brings to the table is actually, like, this is the thing. I realized this over the break so much because I would get on Twitter and just argue with people. I'm not arguing with people. I'm trying to get people to be nice. I'm trying to get people who come on Twitter to be mean to me. All I want to do is see if I can get them to say one nice thing to me. That's my goal. And people are like, why do you talk to them? I'm like, because it's fun and it entertains me. And I want to see if I can make somebody question talking to people in an aggressively mean way. But are the arguments that you're having in your political life making any progress towards the cause you're trying to affect? Most of them aren't. Most of them are just arguments. Most of them are just you trying to put a point in your pocket, not you specifically, but most of them are just people trying to put a point in their pocket for the day to feel like, won that one, laid some serious truth and facts on them hard, and look how big I won. But it doesn't really, we just assume more things about each other.
Online, that is 100% true. I've really backed off online because I like fighting online. I like debating, I should say. I don't like fighting. But I just realized, like, this isn't really accomplishing much.
Brian on YouTube, the Anti-Fry YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to, says 2022 New Year's resolution. Get up early enough on Saturday to listen to Wiggins America.
Thank you.
You can do that this weekend. We'll be right back with Stephen Moore and Minority Leader, State Rep Jim Durkin. Don't go away.
Come look out hard. You better get behind.
So if you are looking to better your skin, let me talk to you about Ooh La La Spa. I am just loving my experience. Dr. Kristen Jacobs and the fine people at Ooh La La Spa in Glen Carbon, Illinois. Because, listen, folks, I have understood that my skin was aging. I'm in my late 30s, and yeah, it's happening to me. Of course it's happening to me. It's been happening for, 20 years now, and I'm just starting to pay attention to it. Make sure that you are taking care of your skin. If you want to look in the mirror and like who's looking back at you and you haven't focused on the health of your skin, you need to make sure that you do that. You can go to KristenJacobs.com, Kristen with an E, Kristen, Jacobs.com, and learn about different things that you can do. I have done the microneedling, and oh my gosh, it's made a huge difference. It will for you as well. Find them online at KristenJacobs.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A green light for boosters for younger children. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The FDA is proposing expanding the availability of one coronavirus vaccine to younger kids.
The Food and Drug Administration has okayed extra Pfizer shots for kids as young as 12 years old. The FDA also says everyone 12 and up who is eligible for a booster can get one as early as 5 months after their last dose, rather than 6 months. COVID-19 boosters are already recommended for those 16 and up. There is one more step to go before the FDA's recommendation can be put into practice. The CDC has to sign off on it now. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky is expected to rule on that later this week.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. New York's Attorney General has issued subpoenas to former President Trump and his 2 eldest children. Attorney General Letitia James' office said in a court filing today that it's seeking testimony and documents from Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and Ivanka Trump in connection with an investigation into the valuation of properties owned or controlled by Trump and his company. The search continues in Colorado for 2 missing people following last week's wildfire in Boulder County.
Cadaver dogs are being used out of an abundance of caution in Louisville, and the search is on for a Superior woman and a man near Marshall who are still missing amid almost 10 miles of smoldering debris and nearly 1,000 homes and businesses destroyed by last week's fast-moving wildfire. As for the cause,
I'm certainly not going to speculate. There's a lot at stake.
Boulder County Sheriff Joe Pelley investigated investigators are pursuing a number of tips and have executed a search warrant at one location.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. President Biden today holding a virtual meeting with farmers and ranchers discussing ways to reduce food prices by increasing competition. The Biden administration plans to distribute $1 billion from the coronavirus relief package to help independent meat processors expand. America's listening to Fox News.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine this afternoon, but don't let it fool you. It's cold out there. 39 for the high. Tonight, clear and cold, 24. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Windy and warmer in the afternoon, but it's still cold, 45. The wind will make it feel colder. A dry, windy, cold front Tuesday night. And Wednesday, windy and bitterly cold, only 32. Little snow possible Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Cox here. We're taking the show live to the Missouri State Capitol this Wednesday, January 5th. We're going to speak with the governor, with House members and senators as they kick off the 2022 Missouri legislative session. Redistricting will be a big issue this year. Will legislators eliminate a Democratic district? Plus, bills to repeal the gas tax and ban mask mandates have already been filed. Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show live in Jeff City, January 5th, 5 to 9 a.m.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
The med spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the med spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Download the Odyssey app to discover hundreds of new exclusive music stations available now. For music fans, by music fans.
Yeah, it's over.
Music stations specific to your taste, now available through the Odyssey app. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I mean, look, I think if I had $1 for every lockdown politician who decided to escape to Florida over the last 2 years, I'd be a pretty doggone wealthy man, let me tell you.
You know, when you realize, listening to Governor DeSantis there, when you realize how open and free Florida has been for such a long time, my husband and I packed the kids up to go visit our brother-in-law and sister-in-law in Florida in June of 2020 because they decided to open up and we needed to get out of Illinois just for a few days. And to go there and see how much freedom they had there and how much Illinois was still locked down. We still have mask mandates. We have kids going back to remote learning today in the state of Illinois. There are places that are open and places that are thriving right now. And when you look at the numbers, there's, like I said earlier in the show, there's no obvious way that these shutdowns have helped mitigate the virus, and they've crashed businesses in the process. Let's talk about the 2022 economy with Stephen Moore, who is our senior economic contributor at Freedomworks, with us each week to talk about the economy. Happy New Year, Stephen Moore. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Annie. Happy New Year. By the way, I just got back from Florida. As a matter of fact, I was there for 4 or 5 days, and it was lovely, actually. The weather was perfect, and, it's a free state. It really is. You don't have all those crazy mandates and requirements and people scowling at you. And, by the way, people are, they act in a responsible way. If you're in a crowded room, people put on masks and things like that, but they haven't shut down their schools and their businesses and their restaurants, and people are getting on with their life. And it's almost a cultural, social divide between left and right. I was looking at some of the data on, how afraid people are of this latest wave of COVID. And, the liberals are very afraid of COVID, and conservatives are generally, they want to get on with their lives. I mean, it's so these differences between liberals and conservatives are not just about economics and politics. It's also just this almost a sociological phenomenon. And I've been thinking why that is. And I think it's because, we as conservatives are individuals. We're more, we're the kind of people who take risks and things like that. Sure. And liberals, living in fear is no way to live.
Yeah, we could be afraid of getting in a car accident on the way to get your COVID test or your third box of masks.
Exactly. No, I'm not. Look, I'm not saying people should be stupid. I mean, you want to obviously be, take the costs and benefits of every decision you make. But I just find it fascinating. And you look at the census data, Annie, that just came out a week ago or so, and it's showing this migration that you and I have been talking about for the last couple of years on the show, of people leaving blue states and moving to red states. It's accelerating. So, the big states that had the biggest population gains were, just as you would expect, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, Utah, Montana, Idaho. And the states that are losing are Illinois, California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Gee, what do those states have in common? Oh, yeah, they have liberal Democratic governors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's consistent. I mean, you can statistically point to it. Let me ask you to overarching assess the United States economy leaving 2021 and what is ahead of us here in 2022.
So, I was on Fox this morning to answer that exact question. So I'll tell you what I told the folks on Fox, which is that I have 3 concerns about 2022. Number one, I don't want Joe Manchin and Joe Biden getting together and making a deal on this terrible, horrible, Build Back Broker bill. I call it Build Back Broker because it's going to bankrupt the country. We don't need any of that more spend. We have too much spending, not too little. And the idea of even a slimmed down version of that bill would really be bad for the economy. So we have to just kill the bill, stick a stake through its heart, bury it and then pour sand on salt on the soil so it never comes back. And if it does come back, I think that's going to be very negative for the economy. Number two, I'm concerned that the Federal Reserve Board is way too late and behind the curve in terms of dealing with this inflation problem. And they've got to act now to get some of this excess money out of the economy, because it's having a real adverse effect on consumers in terms of every time we go to the store. And if they don't act quickly, I'm worried that inflation could get worse, not get better. And then finally, my biggest worry right now is that we're going to panic again like we did in 2020 with this latest wave of COVID. And we can't do that. I mean, the evidence is so clear that lockdowns and, all of these mandates and requirements, they just haven't worked. You look at a state like Florida that hasn't had the mandates, and they have lower death rates than New York, which has been all in on all these kind of requirements. So those are my three biggest concerns.
So I want to ask you a little about, you brought up Joe Manchin. This is a quote that I'm reading here from an article in Business Insider. And the headline here is, Joe Manchin will consider supporting Biden's agenda if monthly child tax credits get an income limit or removed altogether. This is what Manchin said, quote, "Do you believe that people making $204,000 should still get the child tax credit the same as someone making $50,000, $60,000, or $70,000 that really needs it?" My question to Joe Manchin is, if you've got kids and you are making a higher income and you're potentially paying for private education or you're paying for childcare so that you can make that money, I don't understand why money should come, because those people are paying a lot of taxes. Those people are paying into the pot. They're going to get taken out of this pot so that Joe Manchin can agree to it, so that people who are not paying into this pot, or people who are paying less into it, can still access this money. To me, it seems like redistribution of wealth altogether. How is he going to sell this in his kind of moderate viewpoint as a way to go to folks who might support this?
Yeah, and let me just correct you on one thing when you talk about his moderate voters. I mean, the West Virginia is, today one of the most conservative states in the country. I mean,
Trump
70%. So he's got a heavy lift there. I mean, you make a lot of good points there, Annie, and I want to pick up on a couple of them. One is, one of the reasons I think all of these child care subsidies and Head Start programs and all of this stuff, by the way, the evidence over the last 30 years is Head Start has absolutely no effect whatsoever. I mean, they've studied this thing upward, backward, forward, and unless you look at these really left-wing sociologists, you get a $7 of benefit for every dollar. No, basically all the evidence shows that any short-term benefit from Head Start really dissipates over time. But the point I'm making is, all of these subsidies for childcare and so on. Well, wait a minute. What about the families like my own? We're middle class. My wife made the financial sacrifice of staying at home and taking care of our kids.
Yeah.
So now we don't get we have to pay taxes. And by the way, the families that have two earners, where the husband and wife are working, and look, that's every family and woman's choice about whether they want to work or take care of the kids. But why discriminate against women who are staying home? I mean, that's one of their highest callings, is to be a good mother, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. Schumer says that in a letter that he wrote, that nearly all of us were disappointed by the decision to delay floor consideration of Build Back Better Act. And he promises that he's going to bring it to a vote yet this year. Do you feel like the bill, kill the bill? I know you were stomping on that pretty hard in 2021. Is it going to revive?
I'm nervous. I think we should just kill this bill. And by the way, if you want to help families, just cut taxes.
Right.
You want to help them financially? Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, why don't you cut our taxes? So we have and that way, by the way, people can make their own decision, make their own financial decision about that, whether they want the two earners in the family, or a mother and father to stay home during those critical wonder years. Again, I'm not disparaging, people one way or the other. I'm just saying, why should the government tilt the playing field in one direction or another? I just don't think that's fair. And it's very simple. We've got a $25 trillion national debt. We don't have all this extra money to be spending. We should be. Everyone knows you can't keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing on your credit card and then think somehow that's going to have a happy ending.
Right. Yeah. We know how to abide by that. It would be nice if the people we elected did as well. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you try to find a bright spot here. Going into 2022, I don't know how hard you're going to have or deep you're going to have to dig for this, but going into 2022, Republicans have a big opportunity to take some power back from the Democrats and level things out. What should the message be for common sense candidates running for office? What can they do while Biden is still going to obviously be the president for the next 2 years?
Yeah, so I'm with Newt Gingrich on this, that it's not just enough to be against what Biden does. And by the way, it probably is enough, in terms of winning seats. I think the Republicans are going to pick up about 30 seats in the House and that 3 or 4 in the Senate, which is a lot. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath in November for the Democrats. But I want the Republicans to run on ideas, don't you?
Yes.
I want them to run school choice. I want them to run on, idea of real tax reform. Let's make the tax system, let's not hire 80,000 more IRS agents. Let's make it so simple. We don't need a huge IRS. Let's make it really simple and fair. Let's talk about, getting rid of waste in government. I mean, anyway, how much would you, this is a poll question that was asked, but I'm going to ask you this question. Out of every dollar that is spent in Washington, how many cents of that dollar would you say is wasted?
Oh my gosh. I venture to say half, but I have no idea.
Yeah, so you're not too far. The average answer for the average American is 40 cents. The Americans think 40 cents of every dollar is wasted. So even if it's only half that much, you're talking about $1 trillion a year that's wasted. So why don't we before we keep spending more and more money and taxing people more, why don't we get rid of the waste?
Yeah. We need to have, like
let's
you said,
let's have a war on waste in government in Washington.
Amen. Having some sort of measurable ideas. It can't just be that guy's bad, vote for us instead. We have to have some plans to run on, and hopefully the Republicans do that so that it can help success for the country, not just for the Republican Party. I care a whole lot less about any political party than I do about the economic health of the country. Would you say it's on life support right now?
Say that again?
I said, would you say that the economy of the United States, is it on life support right now?
No, look, I mean, we're America. We get through these things even when we have bad leadership. And so, no, we're not on life support. I think there's some tough times ahead because of the mistakes we've made in terms of all this spending. It's like, if you go out, I could barely get out of bed on January 1st. I stayed up till 1 a.m. and we were drinking champagne, and I had the biggest headache. You have the hangover effect. And it's the same thing with when you spend and borrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feels great when you're doing it, right? You're dancing on the tables, and then the next morning you can't get out of bed.
I need to go to your parties.
That's what I worry about.
I'm going to come to some Stephen Moore New Year's parties. Those sound fun.
But the point is, we know what we're doing is wrong. The American people know it's wrong. They know we shouldn't be borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, this idiotic idea that we can just borrow our way to prosperity and print money. So, but no, we're not on life support. We're going to get through this. We always do. We're Americans, and so I think 2022 could be a tough year, but I think we're going to correct course.
I told you I was going to get a bright spot out of you. That was my goal for today, is to get some positivity from Stephen Moore, and we got it. Thank you so much for coming on with us. Happy New Year. We always look forward to having you along here. You're a trusted name and resource, and we're grateful for you.
You too. Right back to you. Talk to you next week.
All right. Bye-bye. Stephen Moore, the senior economic contributor at Freedomworks. And he's written a book that kind of laid out a plan for something that did work pre-pandemic. It's called Trumponomics, the America First plan to revive our economy. Can we just wash, rinse, repeat that? I don't know if it's the Trumponomics. Might be. We shall wait and see. We're going to take a quick break. Now, we just talked about how to get the national economy back in order. What about the state of Illinois? The minority leader of the Illinois House of Representatives, Representative Jim Durkin, is going to come on with us, and he's got a pretty lofty goal. I'm going to ask him. He told me this last summer. He wants to become the majority leader in 2022. So lest he switch parties, he's got some big plans for 2022. I'm going to ask him if those plans are still intact with Jim Durkin. When we come back, don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. It's not about left versus right. It's about wrong versus right. Where St. Louis comes to talk. Right here, right now. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Selling your home's a huge deal. You want to sell it fast and for the highest price with zero hassles, right? Mark Cox here. That's why I always recommend Gloria Liu with GL International Realty and the Coldwell Banker Premier Group. Gloria continues to change the real estate game with multiple cash offers for her sellers. Above market bids with multiple cash offers in less than 24 hours, and she makes the process so easy. Gloria eliminates the hassles with no showings while you pick the closing date. Check this out. Andrew wrote, Gloria sold my home quickly, above market value, to an all-cash buyer, no hassles, delays, or problems. With Gloria Liu, two things are always guaranteed: your home sale and your price. Call Gloria today and get your cash offer at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Nobody wants to miss the important things in life, and if it's because of bad vision, you don't have to. Mark Cox here from my friends at Brenton Vision. They can help you out. That's why I want you to take 2 minutes today to call my friends at Brenton at 314-375-2020 or go online to BrentonVision.com. Your eyes are as unique as your fingerprint. Since Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri offering all 7 forms of modern vision correction, they can create a customized treatment plan just for your vision. They helped my wife out. She chose the lens replacement therapy and now sees better than ever, and she loves it. You can have that same experience with Brenton Vision. They accept flex plans and medical spending plans as well at Brenton. So don't let that money expire or go to waste. See your best. Do what we did. Call Brenton Vision at 314-375-2020 or schedule online right now at BrentonVision.com.
Tom and Shirley were shocked when they realized that their retirement income wouldn't come close to letting them do everything they wanted to do. They did have plenty of equity in their home, so they checked out a reverse mortgage. But the idea of taking on mounting debt and so much red tape, no thank you. That's when their financial advisor told them about TrueHold. When they compared TrueHold to a reverse mortgage, the advantages were clear. While both let you stay in your home, the huge difference was money. A reverse mortgage would pay them only a fraction of their home's total value, while TrueHold paid them 100% of their home value minus a small fee. Bottom line, TrueHold paid twice the cash as a reverse mortgage, and they could stay in their homes renting as long as they wished. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com and see how easy they make getting 100% of your home's value within 30 days. That's 1-855-300-9993 or go to TrueHold.com.
Just got home from Illinois, locked the front door, oh boy. Got to sit down, take a rest on the porch. Imagination sets in, pretty soon I'm singing.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Look at all the happy creatures dancing on the lawn. Dinosaur controller, listening to Buck Owens. Looking out my back door.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Governor J.B. Pritzker is urging Illinois hospitals to delay elective surgeries and non-emergency procedures to make more beds available in anticipation of a wave of COVID-19 patients. Chicago will require proof of a COVID vaccine for indoor venues. That includes restaurants, bars, gyms, and other indoor venues like sports entertainment arenas. The rules apply to everyone 5 and older, but doesn't apply to those in venues less than 10 minutes, like those who are getting takeout. Also starting today, all Illinois Secretary of State offices, including driver services, will be closed until at least January 18. Online transactions will remain open for all departments to continue or to conduct office services. And all expiring driver's license and ID card expiration dates have been extended until March 31st.
That is a Fox 2 report on the new COVID restrictions in the state of Illinois. Brad, you're an Illinois resident. Do you like if new stuff's coming, are you waiting and reading and assessing? Pay any attention?
No. The only thing that kind of caught my attention there was, the elective surgeries, the hospitalization stuff. That's what catches my attention. So if we're going to talk about elective surgeries and elective medical procedures, that's what catches my attention, because I think stopping those is a bad idea, because some of the stuff that we consider elective procedures really aren't elective procedures.
I just would really like the medical professionals to be able to determine
exactly.
I think they're capable. Anyway, so Illinois, Governor Pritzker is delivering a press conference right now. Associate producer Hannah is on it, and she is listening to it. She's going to get the lowlights here in a minute, and we will turn those around for you. But somebody who told me last year he had a pretty lofty goal for 2022 is House Minority Leader Jim Durkin. Representative Durkin, thank you for coming on the show today. It's great to have you back here.
Thanks, Annie, and Happy New Year.
You told me, Happy New Year to you as well. You told me last year that you wanted to become the majority leader. Is that still a goal for you in 2022, to take the Republicans out of the super minority into the majority this November?
My goal is to go above that, to be the Speaker of the House, and I am committed to that 100%. That is still definitely our goal, and since last November, 2 Novembers ago, we have not, meaning the House Republicans, we haven't taken our foot off the gas pedal. We're working very hard. We're recruiting great candidates. We're raising money, and we know that this election cycle is looking favorable for us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
We have, this is interesting. A lot of times we have a very difficult time recruiting candidates. We've got people that are coming to us, which is not the norm. So I feel that we're well positioned. There is a lot of interest in the House of Representatives, particularly with people throughout the country. They look at Illinois as a place where there can be significant gains in the Illinois House, but significant gains for me means that we're going to get the majority.
That's fantastic to hear, and I like the enthusiasm, because without that enthusiasm, you're never going to reach that goal. As you are assessing across the entire state, Illinois is a very dynamic state. There are a lot of different regions and different people that come together to make Illinois the great state that it is. From Chicago down to the south, here in Southwest Illinois, are there commonalities that you're encountering from constituents across the state about what's important this election?
Public safety is the most important thing on people's minds, next to inflation. Those are the 2 biggest issues we have. Of the cost of goods is almost doubled. You look at everything on the store shelves, whether it's diapers, milk, you name it. People are not happy of how little their dollar is being stretched. But in where I live, and also in different parts of the state, I would say everywhere, public safety is number one. It's the biggest concern on people's minds. These smash and grabs, carjackings, utter lawlessness that's going on within the state of Illinois, based on this attitude of this all in the sake of progressive change, passing terrible legislation which puts police at puts them in a very difficult situation, almost impossible to do their jobs. No concern about the rights of victims. We see it up here in Chicago every day. We have a state's attorney who should be serving as the public defender of Cook County, not the Cook County state's attorney. So we've had 2 police officers that were killed within the last week in Illinois. So this environment has been murders. They were killed. This environment has been this hostile environment and this lawlessness has been created by the Democrats in the House, the Senate, and J.B. Pritzker. And they will be reminded of it every day as we get through this election cycle by me and also members of the caucus.
We're speaking with State Representative Jim Durkin, who is the House Minority Leader. Currently, the Republicans sit in a super minority in both the House and the Senate, in the state House and Senate. And Leader Durkin has said he wants to be the Speaker of the House. He needs to take the majority to do that. Let me ask you this. Let's say you get your wish and you get to be in the majority in the House. J.B. Pritzker seems to be, from where I sit, a very unpopular governor. He has used his emergency authorization to be able to invoke a lot of regulations over the people of Illinois that I think people are very frustrated with. He could potentially lose his seat as the governorship. What kind of position, how rapidly could Illinois see improvement in an array of issues with a majority of Republicans in the House and somebody other than J.B. Pritzker in the governor's mansion?
Well, you're going to see it first and foremost with the budgeting and how a Republican governor and a Republican majority in the House are going to pull back on this unnecessary spending and do what we should be doing with a lot of this money that's come from the federal government through ARPA and through the CARES Act. But we're not going to be, as a previous governor said, we're not going to be drunken sailors like what J.B. Pritzker and his colleagues are doing with this federal money. So I will say that you will see that there will be a complete turnaround on the way in which we manage the state finances. Secondly, if I am elected and I am made the Speaker of the House, I will repeal that anti-police, anti-victim law that was passed last lame duck session. That is my pledge to Illinoisans.
And that is an important promise, and I hope people are hearing that. Let me ask you about
the one that all the Democrats in the Metro East voted for too.
Yes,
remember?
yes. I mean, yeah. Katie Stewart, right across the river. My current representative in the 112th voted for that, and it's just abysmal. Talk to me a little bit about Southern Illinois. There are Democrats who hold 4 seats down here that are vulnerable, and you said you've got candidates who are looking to step in these roles. What kind of support can Southern Illinois give the state of Illinois in taking that majority back?
Well, Annie, if you look back at the last cycle, Amy Alec was out, spent $3 million to $400,000, and we won by 8 points. We're going to do better. We're going to have more money this time. And same, David Frees beat the incumbent Democrat with virtually the same type of disparity in spending. So I am enthused about our prospects in Southern Illinois and the Metro East because it is becoming more Republican by the minute. And what we witness, what's going on in Washington and also Springfield, I would say the independents are dramatically moving in our direction. And we have Democrats who've thrown up their hands and they're done.
Yeah.
Not only in Southern Illinois, but also here in the suburbs and also in Chicago. So I expect that we're going to do well. We're going to do very well downstate. This is our area. This is our part of it's our country down there. Is this Southern Illinois? It has changed dramatically in the last 10 years. And we will have every one of those seats by next cycle.
Yeah, there's a lot of hope down here, and Southern Illinois has a lot of responsibility to be in tune with who your current representative is. And you mentioned Amy Ellick is a wonderful person, a guest on this show from time to time. If she's your representative, you need to make sure she stays your representative, of course. What can people do to get involved? You know, maybe they're not the candidate, so to speak, but I'm sure $1 here and there helps. Of course, you talked about being massively outspent, but it's not just about writing a check. There's a lot of different things that folks can do to help the cause.
The Democrats who currently represent the Metro East area, they need to be questioned. And the public needs to ask them, why did you vote against the police? Why did you vote against victims on that defund police bill, this whatever they call the police reform bill? Why did they do that? I'd also like for them to know, the Southern Illinois people in the area, ask those Democrat legislators why they voted to make the possession of heroin and fentanyl and methamphetamine a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor. They all voted for it, Annie. This is the attitude of the Democrats. We are not going to hold people accountable for terrible crimes and for polluting and killing kids throughout the state of Illinois who've died because of overdoses of heroin. A lot of it's laced with fentanyl. Why is that now a misdemeanor? Why is that a misdemeanor? It's the equivalent of walking around with an open 6-pack of beer. That's what you have with this majority. But every one of those Democrats in the Metro East area voted against the police and are now making the possession of fentanyl a misdemeanor.
Do I recall correctly that you're a prosecutor?
That's correct. Up in Chicago, I was.
I recall you talking about some stories about things that you've seen as a prosecutor. I mean, when you're talking about crime and you're talking about drugs and you're talking about, the left would call them gun crimes. Criminals commit crimes. I'm pretty convicted on that. But you've seen this not from a politician standpoint. You've seen this up close, specifically in the city of Chicago. But we have a lot of this right here on the east side of the river in the St. Louis Metro East. What these drugs and what this crime does to degrade the entire area and how long it takes, if possible, to reclaim and reinvigorate these areas.
It's only if there is a new attitude towards addressing crime and also dangerous narcotics in the state of Illinois. Not only does it destroy families, it destroys human beings, but it feeds into this huge street gang problem that we have, not only in the Metro East, but also in the Chicago and the suburbs. That is what drives the gangs into these shootings. It's shootings over it's over turf. It's over just ripping off other dealers. I mean, there's absolutely no accountability for the actions of these individuals. I did this in the 90s, and I've tried and prosecuted these cases. They're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. But you have a state attorney in Cook County who doesn't believe that gun offenses are serious crimes and doesn't believe that narcotics cases are worthy of her time. She disbanded the Narcotics Bureau, which has been there for the past 50 years. So I've seen it firsthand, and I can speak with great clarity on these issues of what these policies have done and what they are doing to the streets of East St. Louis, Maywood, Chicago, places where there is crime that is at a epic proportion.
Yeah.
So, but Annie, this is all part of, I would say, an environment that's been created by J.B. Pritzker and the Democrats in the legislature, all because they wanted to be who's more progressive than the other, because of the problems that happened with the riots, the problem up in Minnesota with the killing of that on the street by the police officer. What they're doing is that they're vilifying 99.9% of the good men and women who go to work every day with a badge, not knowing if they're ever going to come home, because it's a very dangerous job. That's the only thing that keeps us safe in society, is having a strong and committed police department, ones that are allowed to do their jobs, and that's to apprehend bad people and to investigate. But we don't have that right now.
Yeah.
We don't have that attitude. And, it's really, and we're seeing it play out in the streets everywhere in the state of Illinois.
And it needs to stop. Illinois House Minority Leader Representative Jim Durkin on with us right now. One last question before I let you go, because Illinois has seen massive out-migration. We've lost representation in our federal government because of it. People are fleeing Illinois. If they can get out, they're getting out. What would a Republican majority, and potentially in partnership with a Republican governor, do to attract people to flock to the state of Illinois?
We're going to pass for the first time property tax reform. Property tax reform. Every Democrat who's in the legislature has promised to citizens that they're going to get behind a real property tax reform package. They never do. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Mike Madigan did that for a business, for his work. And you never saw any meaningful property tax reform. That is what's driving many people out of this state. It is the property tax system, but the overall taxing policies of this state are driving people away, particularly our business leaders and our businesses throughout the state. So we're going to look at our businesses, small, big, and small, medium, large, as heroes. They should be given a hero's welcome every day because they are staying in Illinois. And what we have to do is that we have to reward them for being good partners by helping them expand their business without the legislature sticking their nose too far into how they have to run their shops and how they treat their employees. That's what you're going to get. I have it up here. My next door neighbors have officially moved to the lakefront of Indiana because of the good tax environment. And also they actually said that, we don't have scandal in Indiana like you do in Illinois. And, you're going to see ethics reform, actually real ethics reform, not this nonsense that they passed, which made our inspector general quit her job because they actually weakened her position but they still allow for the guys like Louis Arroyo to continue to lobby while serving as a member of the legislature. So this is what you get. They're ethically challenged. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. They don't care about other people's money, and they'd rather side with the criminal element with their progressive agenda.
Well, it's good to hear the plan because you have one, and the goal is lofty, but it's achievable. And everybody who is listening right now, yes, it has to happen. Now is the time. And thank you for coming on here and talking to us about it. We're going to do our part down here to get the word out. And we're very grateful that you spent some time with us today.
I was down there 3 weeks ago recruiting and meeting with people, and I'll be down there more over the course of this year, Annie. I love the Metro East, and I feel very good about our prospects in that area this cycle. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Keep in touch with us here on the Annie Frey Show. We will do our best to make sure people know what they can do, because that's what matters, is your involvement. It's nice to have the House Minority Leader on the show, but we have to take action, you and me. We have to put our money where our mouth is and put our feet into action to make something change. This is the year, folks. 2022 is the year to make something happen. Quick break. We're going to come back with a few fun stories to talk about in the 2:00 hour. Trisha and Ryan Wiggins, as well as producer Hannah, going to come in studio with us and do a little Signs of the Apocalypse. Can't wait for you to meet her once again. If you didn't meet her the first time when she was on in December, you are going to enjoy her. I know it. She's bright and she's fun, and she will have Signs of the Apocalypse in the 2:00 hour. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show. The Mark Reardon Show.
Frank Cusimano. Ryan O'Reilly has said it best. If you are vaccinated and you have no symptoms, then you shouldn't be tested every day. If they keep doing this, we're just not going to see professional sport.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Attention homeowners, if you're selling, I'm buying. This is Mike Robinson, Robank Properties, and I'm not like the other people you hear on the radio. They make offers loaded with contingencies like, I think I need my partner to see it, or we will need an inspection, or whatever. I call that monkey business. You want an offer straight up? Call me, Mike Robinson, Robank Properties, 314-283-0867. That's Robank Properties, 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or visit us online at robankproperties.com.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is waiting for you to come visit because they have the stuff. They've got the flooring that you are looking for your home. Every different kind of flooring, they've got it for you. And you can go online to igotfloored.com to see what they have in stock right now. When you are shopping with Michael's Flooring Outlet, first of all, they are a homegrown local business. Michael and his family, they're amazing people, and they are kind people, and they know good business. They have fantastic quality products. So when you go shop there, you know you're going to get the good stuff. They have an amazing customer sales staff. They're ready to be helpful for you. They're ready to match your needs with their products. And the best thing, of course, always important to me as well, is the value. You need to make sure that what you're investing in the product that you get at Michael's is going to be of the value that you need it to be. And you will. Reach out to them online. You can find how to get a free estimate for your home, and you can also see all of the amazing options that they have for you, including all of their Mohawk Smart Strand carpet options right there online at igotfloored.com.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event with the Retirement Advisory Group. It's January 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you concerned how inflation might affect the stock market and your retirement accounts? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your 401k tax-free and generate more income than most investment options? Are you worried you won't have enough income to retire comfortably and live the same lifestyle as you are now? Do you also know how to protect your nest egg from market losses and still have growth potential? You'll get all the answers and more If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, along with me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, Tuesday, January 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. I meet regularly with people who haven't filed tax returns in years. Did you know that if you have unfiled tax returns, you can be subject to jail time? That's right. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail time for every year of unfiled returns. So liens, wage garnishments, and bank levies should be the least of your worries if you have unfiled returns. Instead, you should get straight with the IRS and file those returns as soon as possible. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today and meet with me. Together, we can resolve your tax problems before it comes to a prison sentence. Don't worry about not having records or receipts. The Lance Drury Law Firm can help you find the information you need to get the returns prepared and filed. As an attorney, I am trained to put pieces of your tax puzzle together for you. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a new heating system this winter. You could get 0% financing for up to 72 months on qualifying new HVAC systems. For free details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Back in the car and back on the road. We're with you. Dependable traffic with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this.
One of my New Year's resolutions was to try to be like more purposefully organized and prepared. I'm pretty good at retaining things in my head and kind of just flying by the seat of my pants. But I thought, you know what? It's a new year. It's a new me. That's not true. Same old me. I'll try to be more organized. Now I have all these papers of the stories that I normally would just read off my phone during the show. And I am shuffling papers. That's all I'm doing. I'm not even like reading them. I'm just going from one paper to the other.
You just need to figure out your kind of organization.
I need more space. Little Caesars hot and ready pizzas no longer cost $5. What is the world coming to?
This is a sign of the apocalypse.
I know. Sorry, Hannah, if I stole that from you. Not even Little Caesars is immune from price increases. The chain's signature $5 hot and ready pizza now costs 11% more. $5.55 for a hot and ready pizza. Is a hot and ready pizza worth $5?
Is it? Like,
do you like them?
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Wanting to lose 22 pounds,
yes,
Brad
I did.
Is a hot and ready fan.
Yeah, I used to work at a shop that had one across the way,
Uh-huh.
and that's where I would go for lunch, is just get a hot and ready pizza.
Hot and ready pizzas from Little Caesars are delicious if that's what you're going for when you get the pizza.
Yes.
If you're like, I really feel like pizza tonight, do you get the hot and ready?
No.
It's more of a pickup on the way type of thing.
Right. It's a lunchtime thing.
Lunchtime. Okay. Little Caesars is selling a, quote, new and improved version of the recognizable pizza, which has 33% more pepperoni and a new price of $5.55. So you get a little something for your extra change.
Okay.
Its first price increase in a quarter of a century, 25 years. The pizza went on sale first in 2001 and differentiated itself from competitors because it was made ready for takeout without the need to pre-order it. So it says, despite the price increase, Little Caesars said it's still sold at the country's most affordable price compared to its competitors' large pepperoni pizzas. Is it a large pizza? Do you need to speak on this? Price increases and cheap fast pizza. Brian Wiggins just bursts into the studio.
You're in my sweet spot.
now
You
you're
know
speaking
that,
my
right?
language.
Cheap food?
Well, cheap food,
Pizza?
but also I'm upset by inflation, but also I really like Little Caesars, and I think they're underrated.
33% more pepperoni. You're getting something for it. It's
so
not
you
just
say it went up to $5.55?
It's an 11% increase.
But they're giving you more?
33% more pepperoni.
Fair. I'll take that. Because to
Better
me,
product.
that's already, because I'm already paying a little bit more at my local one. So if they're just going to up the pepperoni, I'm fine with that.
Prices for basically everything have also blossomed, even at restaurants where prices spiked 5.8% over the 12 months ending in November 2021. Like the dollar store stuff. How long has dollar store stuff been $1? A long time.
Well, did you notice what happened? Is that where you're going with this?
It's not $1 anymore.
It's not $1 anymore.
It's like $1.25.
Yep.
That doesn't have the same ring. But I mean, we talked about this before, but there used to be dime stores. There aren't dime stores anymore.
Yeah, it always was a shock to me when somebody put dollar in their title and they said everything is going to be $1 because you knew there was an expiration date on that someday. I didn't want it to be now, but someday you were going to price out of that.
We are a Papa John's family because we're located near a Papa John's and my kids love Papa John's stuffed crust pizza. And, you try not to do it more than a couple times a month, but sometimes, hey, we're busy and you're just on the go. But I noticed that a large pizza from Papa John's price increase was significant because we usually buy 2 pizzas for our family. And, if they inch up prices just a tad, you don't necessarily notice it. But if it's something you order somewhat regularly, you kind of know, oh, we're in for pizzas tonight for $38. When it's $45, you're like, what happened here?
Mm-hmm.
I noticed it there for sure.
Yeah, there are certain things like that are your staples, which sounds like Papa John's is one of those. You knew exactly what it was going to be, and now it's more. And does it anger you? Because whenever I have to do that, I feel like I'm personally being robbed. But I funnel it toward the government because I'm like, well, this is your fault. So I just basically scream around my house all day.
Well, you can't. I mean, golly, case in point of when the government comes in and forces a minimum wage. Okay, the people who work here can make a minimum wage, but of said amount. But the business is still going to have to do what they have to do in order to be able to afford that, which means something else somewhere has to give. So if you lose an employee because they decide, okay, we'll just I can't afford to pay everybody $12 an hour. So we'll pay 2 less people to work every shift and put kiosks out the front so people can order their own food. And then these people can have $12 an hour. Are we actually helping the people who were working in there? Or is it just a campaign promise that you can put in an ad the next time you inundate my YouTube feed with political ad after political ad after political ad? I mean, it doesn't help. And that's the same type of thing somebody said, is the pizza smaller? 33% more pepperoni. Is the pizza smaller? It doesn't say.
Ooh, that's a good question. I bet it's not, though, because their boxes aren't going to change anytime soon. Mm-mm. But Little Caesars is underrated. I've heard you say that's not necessarily where you go if you're say, I'm going to have pizza tonight. That's something you pick up.
Is this where you go?
I don't.
It's not at the top.
I like it. It's not the top of I agree with you. But I am fine with somebody getting Little Caesars.
It's the same thing as saying, like, oh, I'm really feeling like a cheeseburger tonight. You don't go to McDonald's to get that cheeseburger. But a McDonald's cheeseburger is its own category of something. It doesn't taste like other cheeseburgers. It doesn't even taste like a cheeseburger. It tastes like a McDonald's cheeseburger, right?
But do you ever say, man, you know what I feel like is a McDonald's cheeseburger?
Oh, 100%.
Do you?
Yes.
Because you're right. That's a category of its own thing.
Yep.
It's not, I feel like a cheeseburger. It's, I feel like McDonald's.
Yes.
My dad had his knee replaced, and I guess my mom, I think, had to go somewhere. And so we were going to go over and help him out a little bit. And I said, we'll bring you dinner. And I had said to him, like, because my kids, they love Taco Bell. So my dad goes, I was really hoping for some Mexican. I go, well, the kids wanted Taco Bell, but he's like, that's Mexican. I'm like, is it? He was fine with it. So we did. Yeah. Everybody was happy with Taco Bell. But is Taco Bell Mexican food in your mind?
Well, I got to tell you, my honeymoon was
shaped.
Mazatlan, Mexico in 2007. We were very excited about going to Mexico because of all the food.
Yeah.
Mexican food, like actual in
Legit.
Mexico, Mexican food. It's pretty bland. Same ingredients, but what we like and what you're talking about is Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
That's what Americans like.
Spicy.
Now, I'm not saying that Tex-Mex hasn't made its way into Mexico now because, you know, it's
America
better.
made it better.
Yeah, it's better. But if
No.
you get actual Mexican food, I don't know what he's talking
Have
about.
you been to
right
Mexico?
now.
Have you
I
eaten
have.
real Mexican?
What
Yes.
part of Mexico?
It was Piedras Negras.
Yeah, see, that's been Americanized. No, I was going to say that regardless. I don't know where that is.
It's south of Eagle Pass, Texas.
I have been to Mexico in the World Showcase at Epcot, and they have wonderful margaritas.
And it tastes spicy, right? You can get spicy stuff.
Yeah. I had an avocado margarita there.
Wow, that sounds pretty good.
And weird for me, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Congratulations.
are you proud of me?
I am.
You should be.
I'm going to give you a hug on the break.
Oh.
Okay, I won't do that.
I'm sneezy, a little stuffy.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You still want to give me a hug?
I don't know. Not really.
I still have your coat. It's 10 degrees outside.
Don't
and Ryan,
sneeze on my coat.
Ryan doesn't have his coat. He left it at my house with the elves. That was the craziest thing in the world. Stick around, Randy Frey Show in a minute.
The holidays are almost over, and it's time to think about a new hobby for the long winter ahead. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. If you have ever dreamed of playing the piano but thought it was too late, would be too hard, or take too long, then Lacefield Music's adult piano course is perfect for you. In only 8 weeks, you will learn to read music and play your favorite songs. In fact, you'll play a song with both hands the very first lesson. Twice a year, Lacefield Music opens our adult piano classes to the public for the low price of $29.99 for all 8 one-hour classes. This class is usually $100, but right now it's only $29.99. That's for all 8 weeks. January classes are forming now in both the Chesterfield and South County locations. Register online at lacefieldmusic.com or call the Chesterfield or South County location you're interested in attending to sign up. What have you got to lose? Again, that's Chesterfield, South County, or register online at lacefieldmusic.com.
So Air Comfort Service, Heating and Cooling, the folks who installed my furnace basically a year ago, because ours went poop and it just quit. And they said, here's what you can do to fix it. And it was going to be about 75% of the cost of replacing it. They gave us options and we went with replacing it. I trust the people at Air Comfort Service. If your heating system on a cold day like today is not working the way it's supposed to be, you need to have them come out and do some maintenance on it. Do the tune-up, the check to make sure that it's running correctly. Maybe they can save you from having to do some pricey replacements later on down the road. Right now it says, my phone says it's 27 degrees outside. It was like 15 this morning. Don't get caught outside of your comfort zone. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. They can talk to you about financing and getting your credit approved. AirComfortService.com.
Writer Kate Michaels has a new project and an enigmatic new collaborator.
There's been murders in my neighborhood.
Sometimes there's a thin line between fact and fiction.
Who is it? FBI.
Can you give me your address?
Kate Mara and Adam Scott in Ghostwriter, a new one-episode feature-length podcast movie experience from C13 Features.
Ghostwriter is available now on the Odyssey app and wherever you find your podcasts.
Let's start off a new year with a new coat of paint. This is Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and let's make 2022 the year you transform your home or business with some new colors and expert professional painting. CertaPro can make it happen, and the quality of the work will blow you away. One of my favorite parts of hiring CertaPro is I don't have to do the painting myself. These are professional painters. They can help you bring your vision of color to life. Get started today with a free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Expanding an investigation into the Trump Organization. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Subpoenas have been issued for former President Trump's 2 eldest children as part of an ongoing investigation by the New York Attorney General's office.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is seeking to question Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump as part of her ongoing probe of the inner workings of the Trump Organization. Former President Donald Trump has already been subpoenaed by James. The New York Times first reported the filing in a Manhattan court. James has been investigating real estate practices of Trump's business, whether it falsified values to get bank loans, then in turn reduced them to lower tax payments. Lawyers for the Trump family want to block the subpoenas. One of the former president's kids, Eric, was questioned late last year.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The FDA today recommending approval of a booster shot of the Pfizer vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds. The plan still needs the okay of the CDC. If voting rights legislation sought by Democrats is again blocked by Republicans, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will consider changes to Senate rules on or before Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 17th.
In a letter to Senate colleagues, Schumer describes last year's January 6th Capitol riot as a symptom of a broader illness to delegitimize our election process, arguing systemic democracy reforms must be advanced. An elections bill has failed to get the 60 votes needed to overcome a filibuster. Lowering the filibuster threshold would still need support of all 50 Senate Democrats. At least 2, West Virginia's Joe Manchin and Arizona's Kristen Sinema, have warned against changing the rules.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. Air travel disruptions continue today with a major snowstorm in the nation's northeast adding to COVID-related airline delays and cancellations. America's listening to Fox News.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine this afternoon, but don't let it fool you. It's cold out there, 39 for the high. Tonight, clear and cold, 24. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies, windy and warmer in the afternoon. But it's still cold, 45. The wind will make it feel colder. A dry, windy, cold front Tuesday night. And Wednesday, windy and bitterly cold, only 32. Little snow possible Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Cox here. We're taking the show live to the Missouri State Capitol this Wednesday, January 5th. We're going to speak with the governor, with House members and senators as they kick off the 2022 Missouri legislative session. Redistricting will be a big issue this year. Will legislators eliminate a Democratic district? Plus, bills to repeal the gas tax and ban mask mandates have already been filed. Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show live in Jeff City, January 5th, 5 to 9 a.m.
Start the new year up right with Menards Bag Sale. Pick up a bag in store and get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag now through January 15th. Whether you pack it, load it, stuff it, or stack it. From light bulbs to tools, snacks, and much more. Fit it in the bag and save 15%. So pick up a bag in store and find out how much you fit in the bag now through January 15th. Available in store only at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
So Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group is your guy. He is the one who's going to help you plan for your retirement and make sure that you're confident going forward that your retirement is going to work for you the way that you've worked hard to save for it. When you are working with Thomas Helbig, you are going to get a no cost, no obligation retirement review. You're going to call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. And set up with Thomas your appointment. It doesn't cost you anything. And he's going to sit with you and you're going to become one of his clients who is in the 97.1 family, is in the Annie Frey Show family. Basically, all of his clients, I think all of his clients have come from this radio station, come from places just like where you are right now. You want somewhere you can trust, and you want to make sure that you are going to have that great retirement that you can count on. That's Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group. 314-993-9494. Stay tuned because we're going to have a new event coming up for you at last Tuesday in January. I'm going to tell you all about that, where I'm going to be there. So if you want to meet me, you're going to want to make sure you know the details on that. RetirementKey.com.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
The Odyssey app. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The place for ideas. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I just want to remind you, they're not requiring vaccinations. That is not a vaccine mandate, right? What they are requiring is that if you go into a certain kind of establishment and they have a category of them, that you have to show that you've been vaccinated, right? That's the, so what I've done is as you know, first of all, I think that the city and the county are doing the right thing for the people of the city and the county. I encourage local leaders to do what's right in their communities. Every community is a bit different, as you know. Some counties have very few restaurants. They're quite far apart from one another. They don't have huge crowds in those restaurants. And so it's hard for them to have exactly the same kind of mitigation that the city of Chicago might have. And so it's been my view that we need leaders locally to step up and do the right thing for their communities. But again, anybody who's willing to step up and make the tough calls, and we've been making the tough calls at the state level as well, at the city level, at the county level, I applaud.
That's my professional reaction to Governor.
Did you guys hear that? What he said at the beginning? It's like, it's not a vaccine mandate.
You just can't do anything unless you get a vaccine.
What you have to do is just show proof that you've been vaccinated to do these things.
No, I did not hear that.
That was my reaction. You looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, oh my God.
Stop using your own head.
It's unbelievable. Is anybody just over this?
Oh my gosh, I am. You see that way back over there? That's when I was over. Way back over there.
I don't even mean.
I can't even see it anymore.
Because for a long time, I was defiant. I'm like, I'm walking into this store. I don't even care. Somebody
just
can
going
tell
up into
me.
People's faces with your maskless
Screaming.
face going, you see this? You like that?
Spitting for no reason. Now, if I were
Sniffing
in Chicago.
pepper, so you sneeze all over the place when you go in.
If I were in Chicago, I would be going in wherever I wanted and just exhaustedly saying, I don't care, arrest me. I don't even care anymore.
You're not going to stay in jail.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What is this? You can murder people. And
well, they're going to keep you in jail if you do this. If you murder somebody, you're fine. You won't get prosecuted.
I mean, seriously.
I know.
We were talking to Jim Durkin about fentanyl is a misdemeanor now. But don't go into a restaurant without wearing a mask and showing your vax card. It's not a vaccine mandate. This is not a tyrannical administration. Stop it.
I might care if a dog started biting me and pulling me out to the police car. At that point, I might say, you know what? Now I'm starting to care and get mad again.
Oh, man.
But up until then,
Should we pile on? New laws for Illinois in
Oh,
2022?
yeah, let's hear this. Now, these have already been passed and they're going into effect.
Should I go through all of them or just the ones that I find particularly heinous? Maybe I'll just go. I'll just highlight some of them. The Preventing Youth Vaping app aims to prevent vaping by children, placing additional restrictions on e-cigarettes, including imposing additional civil and criminal penalties. Law enforcement officers can seize tobacco products or electronic cigarettes that violate the bill's prohibition on marketing to children. I'll ask you, Trisha, about this. Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Hi, thank you. Happy New Year.
So glad you're here. You are a former smoker?
Yes.
What do you think about government working to stop the marketing of these types of products to kids?
I mean, I think that's great. I don't think it makes much of a difference, really. Honestly, the vaping thing is tough because they're so easy to hide. So kids get them and can do them.
You ever sitting in a public place and all of a sudden you're like, smells like strawberries.
Yep.
Am I losing my mind? Do I have COVID?
I think I'm having a brain aneurysm.
Smells like cotton candy in here.
I did see
you just kind of look around. And...
What's happening?
I did see a PSA the other day that said if you vape, there was like these kids that are like, I vape and I'm no longer close to my parents. And it was like trying to talk about like,
no, you're a teenager.
I'm like, I'm not sure that's true.
Speaking of, and I don't want to get into a long conversation about this, but the Dallas Morning News coming out and saying that Ted Cruz's 13-year-old daughter disagrees with his politics. What the hell are we doing?
You and me, Annie, might be the only people on the planet who didn't disagree with our parents at 13.
Yeah,
but everybody else,
actually, I disagreed with my parents on a lot of things,
but not politics.
Just not politics. SB Senate Bill 01846 requires restaurants. This is what the Illinois legislature has been doing, folks. You're all going to feel real good in a minute. Requires restaurants to serve water, milk alternative, gross, or juice with children's meals as the default beverage rather than soda. Newsflash, juice ain't much better than soda. But you in the state of Illinois will be required to default serve water, milk alternative, or juice.
Does it say what ages?
For kids' meals. So if you have a kids menu and it comes with a drink, that you will default to something other than soda. You could request soda, but the default. Think about the lives they're saving, people.
I mean, somebody took the time to put this in writing and pass it through.
Somebody's campaigning on the fact that they got this through.
Yeah.
So this isn't in schools. This is for private businesses?
Restaurants.
I don't know any businesses that were doing that anyway.
Like pushing soda?
Yeah, push it. I mean, everybody, you go to McDonald's, you order a kid's meal, it comes with milk.
Right. I mean, you have an option, right?
But now, after this law, it's going to come with milk. Thank you, legislature.
Your tax dollars hard at work.
Here's one. An amendment to the Code of Corrections will take effect, making possession of child pornography when the child is in a household or a family member of the defendant a non-probational offense that will require jail time and sentencing.
I don't know what you just said.
It's good.
Okay. Good.
You agree?
I do. Do I? Okay.
An amendment to the Code of Corrections will take effect, making possession of child pornography when the child is in a household or a family member of the defendant a non-probational offense. They don't get probation.
So before, child pornography was punishable with probation?
Apparently you could get probation, requiring jail time in the sentencing.
Hey, let's celebrate a win.
Well, that's just why I asked. Should I just read the crap ones, or I'm trying to read them all. SB 139 allows a person currently married to request a copy of their marriage license with the term, quote, spouse, rather than any gender identifying language.
Glad they tackled that instead of my property taxes.
SB 139, in case anybody needs to cite that when they go request their birth certificate.
Okay.
Marriage certificate, excuse me. SB 817 bans schools from discriminating against student hairstyles associated with racial, ethnic, and cultural traditions. I feel as though this shouldn't require a law.
Right.
Why does this require a law? This is one of those things that I find out later it's happening in a certain way, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. But it's sad that this would require a law, that there is discrimination. Granted, I suppose, when I was in high school, they didn't allow facial hair, and your sideburns had to be, at or above the ears, and you couldn't have long hair. So I suppose if you had long hair and it was considered an ethnic reason for having long hair, now you can.
When I was in high school, if you could grow facial hair beyond sideburns, you were the man. And I remember there was one guy. No. I remember there was one guy who could grow a full beard when he was a senior when I was a sophomore. And we thought that guy's either the coolest person in the world or he's a huge dork that doesn't know that beards aren't in right now. Because at the time they weren't. So we called him Abe Lincoln. We never learned his real name.
Good story.
Thank you.
If you're here illegally, would you consider that a crime?
Yes.
Should it be punishable?
I think that something should be done about it.
SB 1596. Committing a crime against a person because of their actual or perceived citizenship or immigration status will now be considered a hate crime in the state of Illinois. So should we be okay with people committing crimes against other individuals because they are perceived to have a specific citizenship status? Absolutely not. But at the same time that we're working on this, could we also be working on making it so that people aren't here illegally?
Were
we
we
are a
okay with
sanctuary
that?
state.
Yeah, were we okay with people committing crimes against people based on their citizenship status before this law?
Apparently. If there's not a law, then I suppose we are. Let's see. HB 1838 expands the definition of discrimination based on a disability in the Illinois Human Rights Act to include unlawful discrimination against an individual because of the individual's association with the person with a disability. HB 3217 amends numerous state statutes by deleting the use of, quote, Haitian or, quote, Negro, and instead includes terms such as Black or African American. And HB 3914 requires Illinois Central Management Services to take positive action toward addressing systemic racism in the state's hiring practices.
I don't know exactly what that is, but I can tell you that Haiti is a nation. So referring to somebody as Haitian shouldn't be illegal. It's like saying you're American or Mexican.
Well, they would probably determine the use of the word American as a slander too, since they hate it so much.
I will say that before 2022, I was unwilling to hire any illegal Canadian for any job. But now, based on some of these, I guess I'm forced to. As an
if you're committing a crime out of hate, that's a hate crime. I don't think we need to list out every possible way you can commit a hate crime in order to, unless you want the woke credit, which I think is going to sink the Democrats in 2022. Vicky on Facebook says Illinois is crazy. I concur. HB 122 ends early termination fees for customers of telephone, cell phone, television, internet, energy, medical alert system, or water services who die before the end of their contract.
Oh, man, that went somewhere I wasn't expecting.
Man, Illinois has a lot of problems. I didn't know they were this bad.
Yeah, look, I know that you're dead, but you're still on the hook for this cell phone contract.
And strange that you're now voting
So
for Democrats.
apparently, like if you had a relative who died, you as the inheritor of that relative's whatever estate were on the hook for any.
You cancel, you're like, sorry, they're dead. And they're like, that's going to be a late fee for you.
We have to charge you $200.
Not
for
anymore,
that.
because Illinois is looking out for you. Actually, they're just watching you everywhere you go. HB 3739 creates the lead service line replacement and notification act to establish timelines and requirements for the removal and replacement of all lead service lines in Illinois. Okay, whatever.
Infrastructure money. Yay.
HB 3955 provides that automatic renewal offers or continuous service offers online should provide a toll-free number, email, or a postal address if the seller directly bills the consumer, or to provide another cost-effective way to cancel the service. Did you know that if you get a mailer, an email, newsletter from anybody, that it is always supposed to include a very identifiable, very prominent place that says unsubscribe? That is a law.
No,
I
didn't know
think
that.
it's a federal law. And so if you go look, it's supposed to be very simple to unsubscribe.
It is not.
If you look, it's there, but you have to know that it's there.
Very small at the bottom. And when you click it, they still keep sending them to you.
They send you through a survey.
Yeah.
Well, why are you unsubscribing?
Because you
I
suck.
don't want your dumb email.
Because I don't like this. Leave me alone.
So you just want to unsubscribe from these particular things, or do you want to
Yeah.
unsubscribe from everything?
SB 564 requires schools to include contributions by Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhists, and other collective community of faith that help shape America in history curriculums. SB 1577, public school students shall be granted up to 5 days of excused absences for mental or behavioral health with no medical note required. You agree with that?
I don't know. No note. It's up to the student.
You don't have to do you have to give a note if the kid stays home for 1 day right now?
Not for 1 day.
Isn't it like 3 days that you have to have?
So is this saying that the parent has no involvement in those 5 days?
No, it's saying that if you're looking at your kid and you're like, it's just not going to work out today. They just need to stay home and not go to school because they just need a day off. Because people need days off.
Mm-hmm.
Kids need days off too. That this isn't, they can't require a medical note for that. And it says 5 days.
That's a tough question because I don't actually know. All of us have teacher spouses. So our teacher spouses handle that stuff for our kids mostly. So I don't know if they
if
actually
it's school
require.
related,
Yeah.
It's not my
It's
part.
not my thing.
SB 2354, students can now take 1 year of forensic speech and debate in high school as a substitute for music, art, or foreign language requirements. I kind of like that.
I like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Did we need a law?
Nope.
I had to take art. I had to take art in school.
Brad
That was
needed a
terrible.
law.
Brad introduced this law, so no other kid had to
I don't
take
think I took an
art.
art class in high school.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Well, I wasn't taking French or German, so
I mentioned
I
this
don't
last
play
week
an
that I
instrument.
kept taking Spanish so that I could be with my same group of friends. And I don't speak any Spanish now.
HB 376 requires every elementary and high school to add a unit of instruction on the events and contributions of Asian Americans in Illinois and the United States.
Wait, they wrote a law for the U.S. in Illinois?
Requires every elementary and high school to add a unit of instruction on the events and contributions of Asian Americans in Illinois and the United States. What have Asian Americans done for the state and for the country?
Ah, I see. Now I see. Thank you.
There's
Trisha
some-
is upset with that question.
Yes, I'm having a very hard
She-
time over here.
She was having a...
I've got more. We'll go
Okay.
over a few more later when we come back. Hannah's going to join us in studio, associate producer Hannah. And we got a little signs of the apocalypse to start the year off right. There's some weird ones. So stick around. Hannah joins us. And if you want to watch and comment live, you can do so on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We're fired up there, as well as Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, Getter. It's hard to avoid us. I know. We'll be right back.
How many times must we tell the
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
living in a long memory? You just recall.
A weekday lineup that makes you think. Mornings with Mark Cox and Brian Kilmeade. Afternoons with Annie Frey and Mark Reardon, where St. Louis comes to talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Writer Kate Michaels has a new project and an enigmatic new collaborator.
There's been murders in my neighborhood.
Sometimes there's a thin line between fact and fiction.
Who is it, FBI?
Please help, Pam. Can you give me your address?
Kate Mara and Adam Scott in Ghostwriter, a new one-episode feature-length podcast movie experience from C13 Features.
Ghostwriter is available now on the Odyssey app and wherever you find your podcasts.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If you owed almost $28 trillion and you didn't have the money to pay it off, what would you need to do? Make a lot more money, right? Well, America's debt is almost $28 trillion, and right now, taxes are at historically low levels. It doesn't take a genius to realize taxes will probably go up. Now think about your retirement accounts. Do you want to pay taxes now on some of the money when rates are low, or later when rates are much higher? Whether you should pay taxes now or in retirement depends on a lot of things, and our team at Heisey Advisory Group knows what to look for. Plan now. Heisey Advisory Group can help you create a plan so your retirement is as tax efficient as possible. Call 314-328-6000. That's 314-328-6000 to set up a visit with our team. That's 314-328-6000. When taxes go up, will you be ready? Call 314-328-7700.
Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Heisey Advisory Group may not give tax advice.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Feeling like a bullet, jumping at a gun. I'm feeling like a winner. I feel like the one. You're doing something to me. You're doing something strange. Well, jump back, talk to me, woman.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're very glad that you're here. Happy New Year 2022. We've been talking about 2022 for a while, and it has arrived. A quick note here before we get to Hannah. I have this on my phone, so you can ask me anytime. Wiggins, days till Election Day, 309.
Okay, 309. I'll remember that for today.
Brace yourself. Tomorrow it will be
308.
And 8.
Then that day after that?
7.
307?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. We got Hannah in here. I'm very excited about
Now,
this.
signs of the apocalypse on the Annie Frey Show.
Hannah, did you have a break? Did you get a break? Because you're in school, you're producing radio shows, you're all over the place.
I did get a break, and I actually got New Year's Eve off. Thanks, Trish. So
Nice.
Yeah. I'm happy to be back, though. I'll be here at least for 2 weeks on the show.
Sweet. I'm very excited about that. So you've got a little signs of the apocalypse for us, some crazy things that have been happening. What did you find?
Starting off, we have a school district in upstate New York that removed the classic holiday tune Jingle Bell Rock from their curriculum because they claim it has racist origins.
Jingle bell, jingle bell. Well, have you seen Lindsay Lohan do that? And Amy
and Mean
Poehler?
Girls?
Yeah.
I can't even think of how. I mean, most of them you're like, oh, I know what they're doing. I can't think of what this would be even talking about.
I had to fully read upon this for me to understand.
So how is this? It said it's racist? Racial undertones?
Yes, because they found reports that the first public performance of this song performance, not the song itself, the first performance this is like
might have happened.
Yes,
we
have
found
Can't play
reports
anymore,
that they
though.
might have happened.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody looks up the origins of performances of Jingle Bell Rock, we can't play it anymore.
Right, because it only matters about where it's performed, right? So they said that it might have been performed in a minstrel show, which I didn't know what that was until
you looked it up.
Someone else who works here told me about it. So that was interesting. And yeah, they said that the use of collars on slaves with bells was to send an alert that they were running away.
Okay.
This seems like a
Very
stretch. But
Yeah. So Jingle Bell Rock may have been performed at a minstrel show.
Sure.
But there was a grand wizard in Congress who the Democrats go and they speak at his funeral when he dies and they talk about how he's this great person and they want to be associated. Congress.
But we need to cancel Jingle Bell Rocks, Annie.
Congress.
Because it may have been performed.
May
Grand wizard.
They don't even know.
Google that.
Bells.
Have we achieved the apex of society?
We have inverted.
So we're going back down the hill now, right?
In one way or another, gravity will do its thing.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. What else you got?
This next story comes from New Hampshire, and it's where a woman kept her mother's corpse hidden in her house for 6 months.
Oh.
Can anybody guess why?
Hitchcock fan.
Was she getting some sort of social security check?
Ding, ding, ding.
She didn't want
You're
late
right.
fees.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
or
She
wouldn't
Brad
put that
was
On her
right.
library books.
Trying to cancel her cell phone contract.
Just waiting for the contract to run out.
That's right. Up until this year,
Right.
you would have to keep paying the Illinois cell
18
phone bill.
months.
Yeah, so she wanted to keep collecting her mother's social security checks, so she kept her body in her house for 6 months.
Who are these people?
Poor?
New Hampshire. New Hampshire.
They
people.
need the money, clearly.
Ryan says poor. Do not paint poor people like that. Yeah, I've been poor for a
As
long
I
time.
understand it, all
and I
poor
would-
people,
No.
A, don't have air fryers, and
Oh
B,
my-
will keep corpses
Knock
in their
it
house
off.
for government benefits.
Knock it off. It was a gift. It was a gift. And you ate some pizza out of that air fryer. And it was
I
fancy.
did. I didn't even know it.
Listen.
I wouldn't have even eaten it if I had known that, Annie. Be ashamed.
You know who else got
I am not
a new
ashamed.
air fryer for Christmas?
Yeah, who?
My wife.
Really?
Yes.
Have you air fried anything?
Oh, absolutely.
And
It's delicious.
I'm so poor that I had to steal one from
Knock
my
it
brother.
Ryan.
And I kept a corpse in my basement for a
Ryan.
couple months
Ryan.
last year.
Ryan. You're cheap.
So
You're
kill
not
me.
poor. There's a difference.
Amen. Hannah's just like, I think I'm
Oh
gonna
my
go.
gosh.
2 more weeks.
So the girl
6 months she kept him?
Yes, 6 months. And her arraignment is actually this week on January 6th.
Oh,
So
nothing else going on that day. Okay.
Yeah.
January 6th. Let's focus
Can
on
we,
that.
can we
one.
carry that live instead of whatever Biden's going to do?
Right.
Yes, we can.
New
Arraignment
coverage.
of a woman who died in the middle of last year.
Yeah.
Our next story, it's gonna start out sad, but it ends pretty good. In Oklahoma on Christmas Day, 5 puppies were left in a zipped up duffel bag at a Quick Trip.
No.
Aw.
Can't hear.
I mean, ooh.
Aw.
Aw.
The tone on the awe wasn't the
Yeah.
right tone.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Ryan. It's funny. I actually asked him out there, I was like, hey, have you heard about this story about the puppies? And he's like, well, I said in a bag. And he's like, oh, in the river? And I was like, no, but that's horrible.
No, I did not say that.
Different
I
story.
said, did they throw them into anything? And you
You
said,
said
like
a
what? And I
river.
said, a river.
Anyway.
You said there's a happy ending. We haven't arrived
Sorry. got
quite at
veered
that
off.
yet.
Back to the happy ending. So once again, the first responders were here to save the day. They actually adopted the puppies.
Good.
The first responders
Nice.
did.
That's awesome.
So
Do you-
that makes me happy.
You're this. I've asked you this before, and I already know how this goes. Do you have a dog?
This is a great segue because one of my New Year's resolutions, or at least goals for 2022, is as a family, we're going to try to get a dog.
Okay.
Because my dog, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
died of natural causes.
Yeah.
And the natural cause being that a veterinarian injected something into it to kill it. So naturally. Because it was very old and its
purpose.
hips were hurting.
It was time.
So, and it's very painful, and you bring it up a lot.
He does this anytime you ask about pets in his family.
I think this is the
Not you,
second,
just-
maybe third time I've asked about it because
I've
I knew
done
you've
it
had
too.
pets in the past,
I
and you're
did.
like, "No, my dog died." Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Every
But I get
time.
halfway through the question before I remember that.
Same.
So this year, we're trying to get a dog because my kids are all at that age where I think they're too rowdy to be just basically punching each other all day. So I figure if they get a dog, they can wrestle with the dog. It'll be a lot of fun. But we
What
gotta
kind
get we gotta get a hypoallergenic dog because my
Golden
kid.
Doodle.
Yep, a golden or a
Doodles.
doodle of some
Mhm.
kind. But man,
Isn't that a funny thing to say?
we gotta get a doodle.
Get a doodle.
But they're expensive, and as
They
you
are.
know, I happen to be very poor.
Not
So
poor,
cheap.
cheap. Yeah.
No,
Cheap.
I happen to be very poor. So if anybody has any suggestions,
Ryan, I don't know if you're poor or not, but you are absolutely cheap.
Yes.
No, that's not
Ryan,
true.
For sure.
You are the cheapest person I know.
That is how I survive, Annie, because I'm so poor.
Oh, for
It's all
heaven's
his
sakes.
gambling
Yeah.
debts.
Survive unlike your dog.
We eat ramen, we eat scalloped potatoes for dinner. Ew,
Scalloped
you
potatoes
know?
are delicious.
I know, but
Ramen's delicious.
every night, that's what we do.
You just talked about how you eat Little Caesars all the time.
It's the cheapest pizza.
Maybe not anymore.
Yeah, $5.55. All right. Anyway, what else you got, Hannah?
All right. Next.
Don't, if you're listening, do not feel sorry for Ryan Wiggins. He's totally putting on.
Just give me a dog. Somebody give me a dog.
Oh my gosh.
Do not give this man a dog.
We'll take good care
He
of it. We'll
just
love
said
it.
that he wants his kid to
with
beat
all
the
of our
dog.
hearts. We'll love it with
He
all.
just
No, I
he
did
was like,
not.
my kids are hitting each
Yeah.
other too much. We need a dog. No.
Okay, yes, that happened.
He's also claiming to be poor. So how are you going to afford to take care of this dog?
No. Yeah.
We'll if somebody
He
can
won't
go
feed
to-
his kids.
That's
Feed it
right.
Scalloped potatoes.
Yeah, just we're gonna feed the dog potatoes and ramen. But we'll take good care of it otherwise. Its coat will be shiny. I promise.
Does ramen make for a good coat for a dog?
We'll find out. It's a social
How's your
experiment.
coat doing?
That's a good question, Annie. That's a great seg.
So we
Great,
had
great.
the little Annie Fry Show Christmas party at my house, and everybody leaves, and all of a sudden I see there's a coat there, and the natural thing to do is to like look in the pocket, right,
Sure.
to see if I can go, oh, these are Trisha's or whatever. All that was in the pockets, and every single pocket was multiple pieces of candy.
No.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were joking.
No.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Reese's,
It's true.
Snickers.
My family, we go to parades
My
to feed
question
ourselves.
was that our candy? And did you pocket it in my house and forget to take your coat? Was that my kids' Christmas candy?
Did you find anything else in there?
I just
maybe some
pulled it
home
out of the
decorations
pockets.
or
It was
maybe
all
some-
candy. And I'm like, I
Why is
can't.
all my
dog.
silverware in these coats?
Gracie and the dog. What was Rosie doing in the pocket?
Why is all my valuable jewelry in here? No.
Do you always carry that much candy with you?
We had just been to a Christmas parade the
I
week
don't believe it.
before.
The week before?
Yes. And I have so much candy everywhere around me at all times
Clearly.
that
There were probably at least a dozen pieces of candy in this coat.
Did
I
you
didn't-
instantly know it was his?
Yes.
yeah. And so I don't need to seek out candy. I don't need to go, oh my gosh, I need a piece of candy. Oh, I remember there's some in my coat, because there's candy everywhere in our house.
I like how Annie texted a picture of the coat and said, "Is this anybody's coat? It's got candy in the pockets." And you ask follow-up questions. Like you didn't know you left your coat there.
I did not.
Is it a child's coat?
Yeah, what size is this coat? Like your size. You're the one missing your coat.
I know, but it had been a warm week, as you know, in St. Louis.
It was like 2 days later. It
Listen,
doesn't matter.
his whole family wears the same
They do.
coats because they can't afford to
This
buy.
week we
Because
would have known.
he's cheap.
Yeah, this week we'd know because it's cold. We would have been like, oh no, where's our coats? Because we have to wear them inside because we can't afford to heat them.
Oh my goodness.
Good grief.
Chris on Facebook says, sounds like Ryan is trying to get a raise. No, that's not it.
No, that's it. That is it.
Our next story is from Tokyo. A professor made a lickable TV screen that can.
I bet you wish you could afford that, Ryan.
Well,
Is that
depends on what
something
they're
you
showing.
share?
What's the price?
That's what I was just thinking. You can't have like watch parties with friends. Like all your guy friends are over for football. You're like licking the
guys. Totally would.
What would you
Buffalo
want?
wing-
no,
What
yeah,
would
why
you
would
want to
you
take
lick-
from a
Buffalo
football
wing
game?
commercials and the beer commercials in between games. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought when I first read this, I was like, "Ew, that's so gross." And then I kept reading, and they were like,
Sounds like Hannah's into this.
"Yeah." Well, I was very
At
curious.
first,
Tell
I
me
thought
more.
gross, but then,
And they were
But then I licked my
saying
TV.
that instead of going out,
and I thought it could taste better.
you could lick your TV instead. Like it was kind of like a COVID thing. Like instead of you going out to a restaurant, they want you to lick your TV. So then I was just like, okay, we're done. We're done.
I'm glad that's the conclusion you ended up
Yeah,
on.
I licked my TV. It didn't taste that great, so I'm glad they invented this
We had
because it
just
solved the problem.
talked about, I think on here, didn't we just talk about cooking shows and how there's like no payoff?
Yes,
Was
we
that
did.
were you and I in
Yeah.
agreement? Like
Yes.
I can't get into cooking shows because it's like the whole point of what you're doing is to make some food that looks nice because I'm not going to get to taste it. I don't want to lick my TV. Can you imagine having children? This is what kids do when you have little kids. If they ever on your phone is a touchscreen for them likely. Oh, that reminds your phone is a touchscreen. They think everything is a touchscreen. They think every screen is a touchscreen. So they'll like go up to people's TV and or computers and stuff and start touching things and moving it around. You get a tasteable TV. Guess what happens next, folks, with your kids? You'll be looking at everything all over the place all the time.
Mhm.
No bueno.
Now, did you find out if there are
Ugh.
sterilization methods for this? They have to have worked this stuff into the invention, right?
They included a lot, but nothing about sterilization.
That's weird because that's the
That
first
is
question
weird.
everybody thinks of.
You said that this was to keep people from going out.
Yes.
So it
Like they
seems as
can-
though the best way to keep COVID from spreading is not to start licking things
Right.
all the time.
Right.
That this might possibly be a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, they talked a lot about the 10 different flavor cartridges and everything, but nothing about
Soon these are going to be in
sanitation.
every gas station TV.
Do we have
Hi,
time
I'm
for
Maria
one more?
Menounos with
Yes.
your 1 minute of whatever.
Okay, our last one is about underwater pizza delivery. In Key Largo, Florida,
sign of the apocalypse.
there is a undersea lodge, and one of the pizza delivery boys came out and talked about how it is to deliver pizza underwater. And he said it is extremely difficult to keep the pizza not just dry but warm.
I can't imagine why.
Where are you taking it?
And
Yeah,
it's an undersea lodge. It's like a
it's Atlantis.
yeah, it's like
Which
a hotel.
sounds like a really cool concept, like an undersea hotel room or whatever.
Except
you
that
like
your
to
pizza is not going to be good.
Would
when
you
get it.
like to stay in an underwater location? Would you stay in one, Brad?
It depends on the location.
Underwater.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like what, like in Key Largo, maybe. It
No,
depends
it's
on
just
how
like in a
deep, too.
creek in your backyard, right?
Yeah, no, that sounds awful.
This one in Key Largo
You're making this too complicated.
Brad, it used to be a research lab to explore the continental shelf off the coast of Puerto Rico.
Oh no, thank you. That's too close to the continental
That's
shelf.
where we draw the line.
Yeah, nope.
What about you, Trisha? Are you
Yeah.
staying underwater in a?
Yes.
You are.
I think it's cool.
Not if
I
I
would.
can stare into the abyss.
Annie,
Nope.
I would, but the minute I see a crack in the glass, I'm telling you, I'm out of there. And I'm complaining to the staff too.
You're gonna go all Karen on him.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen to me. I am underwater and there's a crack in that glass. You get me out of here right now, staff. That's what I'm
What do
saying.
you look like when you're panicking?
Like this.
Just normal.
Yeah. People are like, is that guy panicking?
Hard to tell.
That's the point, though. It's a strategy. You never know.
You don't
So
have
everybody
time to
approaches me with the kid
strategize when you're
gloves.
panicking. That's the point of panicking.
It's a life.
Panicking, by definition, am I wrong? Is absence of strategy.
No, you got to live a life that even when the most panicable things happen,
What do you-
nobody knows you're panicking.
You don't even know what you're talking about right now. Busted.
He's panicking.
Right.
He's panicking.
You got to take a position on this in some way. This is the one I found.
Yeah, he decided to run full bore into the first direction that he started talking, and he wasn't sure where he was going to land. All right, is that it? Is that good?
Yep, that's it.
Fantastic. Hannah, thank you so much. We're excited to have you
Yay.
on here with us. Noon to 3, so stick around. Yay, Hannah. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about something awesome Shaq did. Shaquille O'Neal is one of the best humans on the planet. Fight me if you disagree with that. I'm going to tell you what he did to make some kids' Christmases very special. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
That alarm goes off really early after a little bit of time off.
Does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay,
But
it's
happy-
easy to get used to sleeping past 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, isn't it? It really is.
Takes no time at all.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Hey, I've said before that if you are having trouble working a dental appointment into your schedule, check out Fountains Family Dentistry in Fairview Heights because they stay open late some days for your convenience, and they also open early some days for your convenience because they know that everybody's schedule is different. And if you have kids, it's even tougher like I do, but I always make my appointments ahead of time. So now is the time. If you haven't for the COVID era, turn a new page. It's 2022. Make your appointment. Go to fountainsfamilydentistry.com. That's where you can look at everything that they've got because it's not just getting your teeth cleaned, although that's the main thing that you got to keep your infrastructure in order, right? You got to keep doing those things to make sure that things don't fall apart later. So get your teeth cleaned if you haven't, especially for a couple of years. But also they do teeth cleanings. They do apnea devices. That's my favorite because it helps me sleep. If you haven't been sleeping well, check them out. Fountainsfamilydentistry.com. You're going to love Dr. Ty Parker. You're going to love Steve. He's going to help you with your insurance, or if you don't have it, he will walk you through that. Fountainsfamilydentistry.com in Fairview Heights, Illinois.
If you feel America is facing more dangers than ever, you're right. An increasing number of things are falling apart daily. That's why you need to prepare for more of the unexpected, and that includes food shortages. When people panic, grocery stores run out of food fast. Would you survive without food for days, weeks, even months? The smart folks are buying emergency food now. Take this moment to shop MyPatriotSupply.com. We're America's leader in preparedness. My Patriot Supply has earned over 47,000 4-star and 5-star reviews. Our delicious food kits average 2,000 calories per day and last up to 25 years in storage, so it's there when you need it. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com Order a food kit or two, and we'll ship quickly and discreetly to your door. Don't wait for the news to tell you something bad happened again. Rather, be more self-reliant and prepared. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event with the Retirement Advisory Group. It's January 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you concerned how inflation might affect the stock market and your retirement accounts? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your 401k tax-free and generate more income than most investment options? Are you worried you won't have enough income to retire comfortably and live the same lifestyle as you are now? Do you also know how to protect your nest egg from market losses and still have growth potential? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, along with me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, Tuesday, January 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
They say it's all right.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Say it's all right. Have a good time. Cause it's all right. Whoa, it's all right.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us here today. We are grateful for you. A happy new year. Fox News alert just came across. Betty White's cause of death has been revealed.
Okay, I'm interested.
COVID?
No,
Just kidding.
not COVID.
Old age.
Betty White died of natural causes. Her rep confirmed on Monday. In a statement to People magazine, the late star's agent and close friend Jeff, somebody said, Betty died peacefully in her sleep at home. People are saying her death was related to getting a booster shot 3 days earlier, but that is not true. So if there has been information out there suggesting that is the case, the rep for the family said she died peacefully in her sleep from natural causes. She's 99. I think that is believable.
I would, be surprised if it were anything else.
When I first saw that alert, I'm like, pretty sure we know what the cause was. And then I read the second paragraph. I'm like, oh.
Everybody just wanted to know, was it COVID related? That's why they wrote that story, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I thought the joke was that she died of COVID or with COVID.
Sounds like a terrible joke.
Yeah, sounds like a Ryan Wiggins joke.
No, it's a terrible.
Hey, you guys, hot take.
Because she's 99. Like, clearly she lived a long, happy, healthy life and died peacefully in her sleep.
Chris on Facebook said, did she have a booster shot 3 days before? Or is that what was false? I don't know. That article doesn't say. So I guess people.
That article really didn't say much.
No,
it just
I mean, it was just a news alert. So maybe there'll be a deeper story later. Here, I'm going to ask you guys this real quick. 2 messages that we got to the show during the show today. This is from Abel is the name. This to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. Your brand of milquetoast, lukewarm, get along conservatism is no longer an option. Do you not understand that liberalism is a disease? It is no longer an option if we are going to keep control of this country. Either become more of a firebrand or get out of the way for those individuals that are going to do whatever possible to keep our way of life. Here's the second message we got. Anyone telling you you need to go harder or say wild things clearly doesn't understand what makes the show special and different, in my opinion.
Those are not both from the same person.
No.
Okay.
So that would be confusing.
That would be confusing.
Second one was from Joe, our friend Joe.
Was he responding to the first one?
No, just came in.
Those randomly came in.
They came in with 30 minutes apart from each other.
Huh.
I mentioned on the air that there are a lot of things that are controversial that can be talked about right now. It was kind of talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC and how that's just not the lane I'm in. They're both they're fire starters. They're both people who have a shock value to them. It's part of what they do. They're outspoken. They grab attention, and there is a lot of that in the conservative talk radio lane. You are not going to tune into the show and hear my latest, cutest nickname for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or Joe Biden. You know, Donald Trump was like the king of that. I don't personally do that. I know that there are people who do, and they have the opportunity to do that on their shows or their platforms. That's fine. Go do you. Donald Trump did it. The left does it. I just don't think it's helpful. But your brand of milquetoast, lukewarm, get along conservatism is no longer an option. I got to be honest, folks. I'm about as conservative as it gets. It's not about policy with me. It's about attitude. It's not what it is. It's how you use it. And I mean, Trisha, I'm looking at you because I have a feeling you're like the least steeped in conservative, you know, everything all the time in the room. Do we need more of that? Like shouty, angry fists at the sky? It's, you know, remind everybody how stupid you think the other side is. Is that going to create any progress?
As, excuse me, as somebody that obviously needed to take a minute there. As
COVID?
Somebody that can be COVID. The joke is COVID.
Isn't
it? As somebody that is on the fence sometimes about some of these issues, I tell you what's not gonna convince me to choose the right side, if you will. It's being yelled at and told how stupid I am and how stupid people are. So I much prefer this brand of conservatism where you inform and it's respectful. But I know that there's a place in the movement and in the entertainment world for the louder voices too. So I think there's room for both.
Here's another note that we got from our friend Erica. I really do love the show now. When I stopped complaining and starting listening, I saw where you guys were coming from. Annie came at me with kindness when I was being a jerk, and I do really appreciate that. We might not agree on everything, but if I just listen to opinions that are the same as mine, how would I possibly learn anything? And then she had said, Merry Christmas to all of us. You guys are truly hilarious. I'm never going to get people listening to this show who don't already know what all the copy points say about what the right side gets up and is supposed to spew, and the cutest, like I said, the cutest new nicknames for people, and you know, the latest way to say Build Back Better with a different B word.
Build Back Worse.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome.
You are such an outlier.
Mm-hmm.
What a rebel.
What do you think? Because you've been a part of the show for years now, and well, you were a listener of the show too.
Yeah.
As were you, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are people who want to feel like we're affecting like a movement. But we are a radio show and we have to be entertaining to a broad base of people. And I do think that all of us have an opportunity behind this microphone that I take very seriously to spread good news in however you consume that, real news, truth, and to do it in a way that makes you want to turn the radio back on the next day. And there's a lot of people doing it in a different way. I feel like the other lane is super crowded.
Well, I'll say this about Abel's message, the first one.
Is this you? Did you write this?
Yeah.
He's
Is it spelled
genius.
ABLE? Because that's what I did.
It is.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Oh, well, sorry.
Ryan's got a
Sorry
friend
about
too.
this. Now I have to explain myself. I will say that there is extreme and justifiable anger at what's happening in the nation. And I don't think he's really directing that at you. I think he's directing that at somebody's got to do something.
Either become more of a firebrand or get out of the way for those individuals that are going to do whatever possible to keep our way of life.
Yeah. I mean, the way of life thing is real. That's a real concern that people have. And they're
But
mad.
isn't it possible that his way of life and my way of life, maybe they're not the same? And my way of life and your way of life.
But I think what he's saying is the problems that he sees in the country
You
are
did
the
write
same
this.
things that you're seeing in the country. And he's just upset and he wants somebody to be upset with him. And you're saying, I'm not going to do that. And that's fine.
But I don't think that I'm not upset. I just don't think, isn't it how you handle it?
Yes. It absolutely
Like,
is.
that's my point.
It's a tone.
Well, and there are multiple ways to approach a perceived issue, and the perceived issue is that conservatism needs to prevail here, right? So you and Abel going about it in different ways doesn't make one necessarily right or one wrong. It makes your way of doing things your way of doing things, and you have like firm logic for doing it that way. And Abel may see a different way, but you're ultimately maybe working towards the same goal. So if he could appreciate that about the situation, that there's maybe not one right answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, he said in his letter, whatever way possible. Well, this is a way possible.
This is a huge platform that tends to work.
And I think that like what people forget is the what is known by everybody. The people on the left know what we believe, but what we're trying to get out there is why we believe it. If you can bring a calmed reason for why you believe what you believe, right? Because you're already being painted. They're painting a picture of you. They call it straw manning. This is who you are. All Republicans are this. And then we have to make sure that we're not all Democrats are this, because there's a whole swath of people that we miss. The what is important. Why is it that we believe what we believe? The why. Why do we believe it?
And I would challenge you to go find another show out there right now that has 4 people of varying conservative lean, all of us millennials in various stages of our lives, who can have fun talking about important issues and not have to go to that place where, I got to refer to the president as some, kitschy nickname or whatever it might be, or be mean about it. Like, it's got to be about the policy. Like, I know that I'm different. I know that I'm not doing what a lot of these other people are doing. It's incredibly intentional on my part. In one way, I'm flattered that you think that my approach is milquetoast lukewarm. But I challenge you to look over any show that I've done and find where I haven't been incredibly consistent on my conservatism. And Ryan as well, in his brand of conservatism. And Brad and Trisha, we've all been our honest people. Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show if you want to send me a message. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year. Mark Reardon coming up next.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
5-minute cash offer on your house. Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com. KLAMEN Group.com. 314-946-9999. Local and family owned. We're going to buy your property direct in as-is condition. And we just rolled out the instant cash offer where you'll get an offer on your house in 5 minutes or less when you reach out to us. Find us online at ClaymanGroup.com for an instant cash offer now. KLAMEN Group.com. 946-9999. 314-946 all nines.
Home values have skyrocketed.
And Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low 1.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With